Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As with you always, this is Max doing a live video today. All right, enough about that. Let's go ahead and welcome some of you guys. I was debating on doing a Saturday night special, but you know what? We're gonna do it. It's gonna be a good show. So let's welcome some of you guys right now. Let's go ahead and welcome the wonderful Brittany at 5:57 p.m. Pacific time. She posted that. So thank you for the thumbs up, Ms. Brittany. Good to see you. We also have Tim Shea. Welcome to Tim Shea, the Mayor of Crypto Commissioner. Thank you for being here, Mr. Tim Shea, representing the 589th District of the XRP Army and his fellow constituents. And we have Mr. Jasmy Not a Scam, aka Corey Bibe. Good to see you, Corey. Hopefully you're having a great weekend, man. All right. We're also getting to a few more comments. We have Maya Media UK. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I share the stream there also. Well, wherever there is, thank you for sharing it. Really do appreciate you. All right. Let's go further down. We have April, who's dressed as Chucky. Wow, that is really unusual. I mean, interesting, or both. Look at that. That is really something. You really went all out, didn't you? All right. Looks pretty cool. All right. And we also have, yes, the 589th. Good stuff. Let's welcome Gerald. Glad to see you, Gerald. Thank you for coming back. And we're going to obviously just wait for a few more people to kind of filter in. I know that the show kind of started a little late. Again, it was kind of something that was on the fence as far as starting. So, yeah, you're welcome. That's your Halloween costume. Nice. It's very interesting, especially with the knife. Anyway. All right. We're going to now, I guess, just get into it here in a bit. Maybe just double check a couple settings, especially crypto Twitter. Give me just a second. Kind of want to check on the score real quick. All right, let's see how we're doing. Top of the fifth, Arizona 2, Texas nothing. Well, it's a nice way to start things off to a sense. All right, so yeah, let me just advise, please smash the like. It does help get the broadcast out to a broader base. Going to be kind of a weird night, but that's okay. More people coming on in. We are going to welcome one more guy. Let's welcome Gopala Krishnan Hamanadar. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Hello to you too, man. Appreciate you. You love Halloween. It's your thing. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. I do appreciate you guys. We got something we're going to start off with. So just like you saw on the tag, talks about crypto keeps booming. And then I have XRP, QNT, Jasmy tagged. It's not all in that order. I think it goes basically, we're going to start off with the news of things being, why we have this boom, I guess you could say, or continuing to have this boom. Then we'll get into some of the XRP. And then after that, it might be actually Jasmy and then QNT. So I wish I had the right order, but for the most part, it's the right order. So, all right. I think, we have about 18 to 20. That ain't bad. We're going to go ahead and just start out the outline. Again, share the stream, like it, do whatever you got to do. I do thank you for that. All right. So we're going to pull this up. It comes straight from the premium service, which is Investor Place. Have it nice and blown up for you guys. Let's just jump right into it. All right. So this was published earlier today. And just like it says, weekly update. Cryptos keep booming. Just double check my settings. I don't want to be muted. But yeah, weekly update. Cryptos keep booming. What is this all about? Well, look what it says. More positive signals, they emerge. What exactly is emerging? What should you pay attention to? Why does it matter? Based on horizontal resistance and support lines, Bitcoin is due for a short-term pullback. Pullback. So the fake out, or is it real pullback? And then from there, will we get new, resistance lines, all that stuff, right? Let's get into all this stuff. So for one, talks about another strong week for cryptos. It was. We've been kind of sitting around the 1.24 to 26 trillion overall crypto market. As far as those particular numbers, talks about that Bitcoin surged, of course, above that 35K mark. That's a crucial mark for the first time since May of 2022, and it has. If you've been paying attention to some stuff. There's been a flurry of positive technical and fundamental developments. This recent positive price action is confirmation. We are in the early innings. Kind of funny how that's mentioned, right? World Series going on right now. Of the fourth crypto boom cycle. I've been talking about this boom cycle for a while. And if you look at history based on, how often this has been, well, yeah, they go in these cycles. So I'm not the only one apparently talks about some of these cycles. Apparently, Zach Rector talks about it. Who is it? Ripple Van Winkle. I think even Rich talks about some of these cycles. So what is this all about? Well, it says Investor Place thinks that there will be further short-term gains and that will be muted over the next month. Now, last time Investor Place mentioned a pullback. That literally happened, and we pointed that out. So that was back in July. I said to everybody, watch out, because in August we should see a major pullback, and we did see that. So, if you're the type of person that you like to go all in, might want to pump the brakes on that one, because, at the end of the day, we all want to not only buy the bottom if we can, most of us don't, but if you see anything in which there's indicators to support the whole notion of, save a little bit of money, because that money is going to have you go further as far as your accumulation of whatever particular asset that you're going after, whether it's just stacking more of what you already have or entry points into ones that you don't. It says, because of this, investors should reduce their short-term bullish positioning, just like I was mentioning, at the moment, and save up some dry powder to buy the next dip, which they basically think should and could happen soon. And I look at it that way as well. Give me just a second. Always got to make sure that light is on. Anyway. All right. So, like I said, first, we're going to go into what happened this last week. That's why we call these Saturday night rewinds with Max. And here's the top one. So, for one, Bitcoin did have a great week. It popped off 14%, which is so significant for Bitcoin. Ethereum rallied more than 10%. Very significant in regards to that as well. You add up both of those, what do you see with our beloved Jasmy? Jasmy was up about 21, 22% for the week. So that is, something that's consistently correlated. We have Binance, also Ripple. They rallied about 5%. If you're into Solana, if that's your thing, that rose about 20%. Not too bad for Solana. Cardano rose more than 15%. I still hold a bag of Cardano. I haven't DCA'd more into it. But even if you're into some of the, let's face it, meme coins, meme tokens, you have Floki, 86% for Floki. PayPay, 78%. Mina, it says 61% on average, but if you remember that at the beginning of the week, that was up over 100% at one particular point. Injected 58%. BSV went down 14%, but, it did really have a nice rally a couple weeks ago. So all these ones, what are they doing? And, where do we go from here? Well, it was an excellent week overall. There was, of course, 7 of the top 100 cryptos. Of course, they rallied. On top of that, 7 rallied more than 40%. 20 rallied more than 20%. And participation was broad and extremely healthy, of course, like it says in the particular week. Going further down into this, it says we have taken this as a very constructive signal of further strength to come in the crypto markets. Technically, things couldn't look better for medium to long-term investors. That's not bad. I mean, considering where we were a few months ago, down to almost breaking below the 1 trillion mark back into the billions. So they had this whole thing of short-term upside action. What is that all about? Well, let's jump right into that. So BTC charged above its major moving averages. They are now all, sloping higher, but the relative strength index, which is RSI, is way overbought. And let's face it, when things get overbought, now you'll see pullbacks and so on. Not to the extreme where, everything is just going to crash or burn, but we're going to point out some of these things. There's this convergence/divergence line for the MACD, and so far it's, far too positive, but they have these occurrences that indicate a short-term top in regards to that. Give me just a second. All right. Based on the horizontal resistance and support lines of this report, Investor Place thinks that BTC is due for a short-term pullback to at least 32K. Excuse me. I'm fighting some allergies today. BTC is likely to pull back to 32K in short term, then resume an uptrend. And let's be honest, is that so bad? Because you know what? I'd rather have this build a new support line and see where we can go from here. Are we going to go up to 40K? I don't know. But all those things are significant if you want to compare it to the crash and burns of what happened. Gosh, guys, what was it? November, December of last year, 2022, with the whole FTX saga. So check this out for yourself, right in front of you. It should be nice and big. And if anything, I'll blow it up just a little bit more to put some emphasis on this. So as you can see right here, it talks about this. And yes, BTC likely to pull back to 32K short term, then resume, of course, an uptrend. Where is that uptrend? Well, pay attention to the right side. You do see some of this uptrend. And where is this cited from? We always cite it from Bloomberg Finance. This is the 2023 report in this latest quarter. Getting more into this, of course, it says we buy that dip. A lot of you guys are going to buy that dip, especially when we have a pullback. Talks about that, they find it very interesting in regards to this technical development this past week is that Bitcoin's RSI became extremely overbought, clocking above 85 in the middle of the week. It is worth pointing out, by the way. Historically speaking, whenever Bitcoin becomes that overbought, it is usually a very bullish signal. And of course, you guys have seen this happen in the past for you as well. It is very bullish. Going back to BTC's inception, whenever Bitcoin's RSI, of course, pops above 85, this is worth pointing out, guys. You might want to pay attention to this part. Bitcoin is higher 80% of the time, 1 month and 3 months later, and more than 85% of the time, 6 months and 12 months later. Looking at just the modern Bitcoin era, basically, they consider the modern era post 2014 and so on. BTC is higher a year later compared to 95% of the time. All right, so remember earlier we're talking about what was overbought. Let's give you a visual representation of that. Super overbought conditions on BTC are very bullish. BTC's relative strength index popped above 85 this week. Historically speaking, when this happens, BTC usually rallies strong over the next year. And of course, as you guys know, we're entering into the whole phase of the halving, which is supposed to be April of next year. So let's take a look at some of this data. So here's all the data collected in regards to BTC since its inception. You have, for instance, the percent that's positive 1 month later, right? Went up to roughly 80%. 3 months later, 80.8%. 6 months later, 86.2%. 12 months later, 86.9%. Now, what about some of the real big significant ones? Well, on the median return, if you look at 12 months later since the inception of BTC, 542% gains. What about only data after 2014? Because, let's face it, that's where things get kind of crazy. Well, look at it. The median return, basically 1 year after 2014, so I guess let's put it at 2015, was a 251.6% gain. All right, let's get more into this. So it says, interestingly, this marks the second 85 plus RSI upswing for Bitcoin. And that is definitely worth paying attention to. It goes on to mention that the first was all the way back in January 2023. Let's face it, guys, it hasn't even been a full year yet. Comparisons are quite bullish. That's why we point this out. Basically speaking, give me a second. Sorry about that. This modern era, there are two highly comparable periods where basically Bitcoin's RSI pushed above 85 for the second time in the cycle. And that is really, really significant. Those periods, and listen to this, I'll highlight for you, were May 2019, June 2016. Were you aware that both times BTC was up a year later? Huh. How far up will it be this time around? Right? Let me come back into the frame for a second. All right. Here's some more history for you. Again, worth pointing out. Back in May 2019, BTC popped about 30% over the next year. June 2016, it soared almost 500%. My goodness. I know some of you guys can feel it in the air tonight, but in reality, it's all worth pointing out, especially if you follow 4-year boom cycles, which, a lot of us who are tuned in, we do. Long story short, the historical precedents for the current price action in BTC are, of course, very positive. These are all great things to pay attention to. They further confirm that we are in the early innings of the fourth crypto boom cycle, like I was just talking about. All right. That doesn't mean it's time to rush out there and buy cryptos, though. And if you are going to buy them, just pay attention to what you have in your portfolio as well as your watch list. If your watch list shows, hey, you know what? Some of these things are really, really cheap right now. You see sales. You're always going to see a few sales. I don't care who you are. You could be a guy that only has 10 particular cryptos on your watch list, or you could be a guy with 100, or like me, 300 plus on your watch list. Depending on how big that watch list, you should have some that will definitely, show some significant things. And, I get it. So sometimes, guys, we want to compare other cryptos with other listings. What I mean by that is, CMC is not the end all be all, never has been. There's also CoinGecko. There's other outlets where you could track that stuff. But one thing I do like about CMC is where it points out on that little list on the far left, it says specifically where the all-time lows were, what particular date that was, and when the all-time highs were. If I see anything on my particular watch list that says, you know what, this right now is currently at bottom, why not pay attention to that? Perfect example is what we covered a few weeks back with Flare. Now, Flare went a little bit further down, but then it went back up. So call it what you want. Buying bottom is always a good thing. All right, getting back to the subject. We've been pounding the table on buying cryptos over the past 2 months. Yeah, more than. We're no longer pounding the table. Ooh. So that's a pretty bold statement from Investor Plays. The big short-term rally has happened. I would say it has. You guys have recognized it too. Now it's time that cryptos stall out and consolidate. And let's face it, consolidation is not a bad thing. It's not. You don't want to see things crash or burn, back into, 25, 20K BTC and so on. Some of you guys are still pointing out that, nah, Max, it's going to crash to 12K. Hey, to each his own. But like they said earlier, in regards to Investor Place, BTC dropping to about 32K in the coming weeks, is worth pointing out. And therefore, it's something that they don't feel that, they're eager to buy this coming week and so on. But there will be a few. I mean, they have a different watch list compared to what we have. BTC, of course, drops to, 32K. I mean, if it happens, we think that, this presents, I should say, a really good opportunity. Maybe you guys recognize the opportunity. All right, so like they're talking about, celebrate the short-term returns right now. A lot of you guys are, but don't get too greedy. And if you've been looking at the whole thing of the fear and greed index, we're now at the greed meter. It has tipped over to this other side, right? We're not at extreme greed. If we were at extreme greed, you would see a very, very extremely bullish market. In fact, you would be experiencing a massive bull run. All right, this part, maybe even take some profits off the table if you choose to do so. I mean, there's certain ones you do, certain ones you don't. If you're into this whole game for long-term, holdings, and you've been holding for a while, you have to have a plan in that regard. Give yourself some dry powder, like it says. I like these analogies, and be ready to buy the next dip in this secular uptrend. All right, so there's some notes. Some of you guys are going to add them. So here's some, basic notes. DYDX has successfully launched its own Cosmos chain, right, with Atom. DYDX is now the largest on-chain decentralized exchange. Was not aware of that. Interesting. I, of course, hold a lot of Filecoin. Some of you guys might have a little bit of Filecoin. I'll mention this. Filecoin experienced a 45% increase in data storage in the Q3, according to research from Masari. You guys have seen some recent pumps in regards to Filecoin. Myself, ever since the SEC attacked a while back, I was no longer in the profits. I'm still no longer in the profits, but on my second time of getting into Filecoin, I decided to just hold it long term. I think I'll be more than good. But states that in regards to Filecoin storage, utilization has improved to 12.6%, and the number of clients storing large data sets rose 25%. Filecoin's decentralized content delivery network, which is Project Saturn, has over 1,800 nodes, and since the launch of the Filecoin virtual machine, has about 9 million FIL that has been deposited with DeFi platforms. All right, we're going to talk about a couple things here. So, for one, you guys got to keep in mind Polygon. A lot of us are into Polygon, right? It's part of the QFS. It's not ISO 222, but doesn't need to be. They, of course, launched POL contracts on the Ethereum mainnet. This is always significant to point out because when it comes to rollups or scaling solutions, all these things, Polygon has been at the forefront to stand out in this regard. It's a significant step in Polygon 2.0 in regards to the roadmap. They're seeking to build the value layer of the internet. Goes on to mention that the POL token will power an array of layer 2 chains, like I was just pointing out, through a native restaking protocol that will allow POL holders to validate multiple chains and fulfill various roles. Now, in regards to this upgrade, it also sets the stage for upcoming milestones, such as the new staking layer for Polygon Layer 2s, an upgrade to the ZK rollup, and an advanced interoperability protocol. That ZK EVM rollup that we saw a while back was a big deal. We didn't see much price action, but we saw massive volume. Will we now see price action because more people will be using the utility? That will be in motion. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. I will be planning to post this later. This small update in regards to Stellar. Hey, let's face it, all of us are into Stellar. Here it is. They join CALP. I did talk about this briefly the other day when I did a little bit of my Sorbonne coverage. But CALP, it's a first layer 1 blockchain member for Stellar. As a CALP member, Stellar will contribute its experience in digital payments and technology to improve humanitarian aid efforts. It is basically that plug to areas of the world that don't have access. This is very unique for Stellar because, to a sense, it makes these people simply be able to use Stellar at ease, right? And give them that proper access real quick to the funds that they need and so on. Yes, there's other ones they can go with, but CALP has basically, no pun intended, stood at the front lines in regards to this. So when we talk about mass adoption, especially for the areas of the world that are war zones and things like that, CALP gets it done for Stellar. All right, and we did do a piece in regards to that. All right, so there you have it. There is the report in regards to what's going on with the weekly review and where we could possibly go as far as a pullback for the overall crypto market. We're going to get back into the comments here in a bit. After we do so, and we kick it back into the outline, we have some XRP for you. It's a couple examples, even tying in the whole thing with Elon Musk and X. You want to tune into that, stick around. We'll get into it. So hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. Let's get back into the comments. All right. So we got up next in the comments, it is a few familiar faces. So let's see here. Let's read this. I can't tell if he's using a green screen. That's awesome. That's super cool, because if you can't tell, then I'm doing a good job. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. We have Furai Kipu. I think you might have changed your name, but I'm not sure. But I do recognize your avatar. Welcome back. It says Quebec. Appreciate you coming back and watching the show. All right, Corey Bibe. Great. I hope you are doing well. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mr. Not a Scam. All right. Gotta have some fun, right? All right, let's welcome April Cornwall again. She says, thank you. It's a purse. We'll have a purse that's a knife. Oh, interesting. I could immediately tell that you're trying to be Chucky. You know, you did a really good job with that look. So that's super cool. Gopala Krishnan Ramanadar. Hello, Max. Good to have you, man. Appreciate you. Hello. All right. So I read most of these comments. I'm sorry about that. Let's go down here. Corey Bibe, Jasmy, 20 cents to 90 cents by December 2024. Let's go. That'd be incredible. Jasmy goes to 90 cents by December 2024. I'll be worth $900,000 just off my Jasmy. So I would have no complaints. Yeah, that's super cool. And this would even, I guess you could say, solidify my thesis of, you know, Jasmy gets us to the promised land first because they simply get it over there in Japan. But you want to know something? You kind of see indicators that over here in the United States, we're starting to finally maybe get it to. You know, it's one thing when you see guys that weren't proponents of this stuff, you know, kind of mention some good things. As the saying goes, you can't beat them, join them. All right, let's see. Here's also welcome the lovely Tia. Hope you're having a great weekend. All right. In your dreams in regards to 20 to 90 cents by 2024? Yeah, that's fair enough. All right. And if it doesn't happen, you know what's going to happen in your dream? A nightmare, Tia. You're going to see Corey Bibe. He's going to pop out of nowhere, right? You're going to look like Chucky or nothing like that. And he's going to come yelling out with a big, angry Japanese costume looking thing. It's going to be like, not a scam. And you're going to be like, oh, you're going to wake up. And you're like, jeez. Oh, my gosh. No, I'm kidding. That'd be horrible. All right, Rick Cogswell. Hi, everyone. Let's go. Good to see you, Rick. Always looking sharp, man. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. All right, let's welcome Hamish. He says, let's go. Keep diving coming. Thank you. Love your work. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it will always continue to happen and so on. There are some deep dives that I know. Sometimes I feel as though some people want, you know, smaller ones. I'm trying to get that balance. It's kind of tough sometimes of like, you know, I got to do the deep dives, but I also got to do some of the shorter ones. So I'm trying to do a little bit about that. On the Q&T segment tonight, it won't be the most deepest of deepest dives. I'm trying to test something in that regard and see how it works out. So I hope that you guys look forward to that segment. And we'll thank Quant Papa for some of the research too. All right, let's go further down and let's welcome River. Good to see you, Mr. River. Appreciate you. We have now ticked up into the 40s. Thank you guys for doing that. We now have 28 likes, 41 people watching. So please smash the like so we can get this out to a broader base. Just give you guys a heads up if you're wondering like why you didn't see the stream over on Will Fix's side. He's announced that you know, the only time we're going to do a dual stream is when he's here, because I guess that kind of makes sense. And you know, you got to respect that. You don't want to like a head fake. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll do the dual stream. Every other day, we'll just be over here. All right, let's see here. Let's have a nice welcome to the one and only Elon Musk, DPG, homie. Thank you for being here. Mike Cornwall. ICP's popping off. We could take a look at that real quick. Let's see what's going on with ICP. The Insane Clown Posse. No, I'm kidding. Please don't listen to Insane Clown Posse. Anyway. Max, why do you got to say that? I don't know. They're not my thing. But if they're your thing, then you do your thing. All right. ICP is ranked 33rd overall. I know it's not zoomed in super much. I'm just trying to get the whole chart because CMC's kind of been messed up lately. 7-day chart up 15% and up about close to 5%. So $3.69. Shout out to anybody who took advantage at, you know, $2.75, $2.95 between that area. You're more than happy at this point. All right. Yes, what up, Mr. Elon Musk? Let's also welcome AZ Marine Sniper. Hopefully you're rooting for those Diamondbacks, AZ Marine. Good to see you. All right. Elon Musk, I'm in a coin called X on MEXC, and it's just starting to rip. Awesome. Congratulations. We're 50% today alone, running like 7 days so far for 1 million market cap. That's very cool. All right, let's welcome this guy back. It is crypto info underscore DYOR. Do your own research. Floki sister token, token Phi, pumped over 20,000%. My God, it's about to get brazy. Now, let me ask you this. Is it officially the sister token, or is it just labeled that way? And another thing I want to ask you is, are they on any exchanges, or do you have to strictly go with something like, you know, other outlets where you just, plug in the contract to Uniswap and so on? That'd be interesting. But thanks for reporting that. And we're going to read a few more comments. All right, let's see here. Let's welcome Dwight Von Tress. Welcome at 6:29. Not that long ago. Good to see you, Mr. Dwight Von Tress. Great looking avatar you have there. All right, let's see. We're also going to welcome Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Good to see you as well, man. All right. Z, welcome. Jeff Pruden in the house. And he says he's been on TikTok live way too much lately. I think it's way better platform for live. Huh. I should do a multi-stream to TikTok. I'll have to, for real. I didn't know you could do a live stream to TikTok. So, through StreamYard. I don't know if StreamYard has compatibility. I'll have to look into that, though. If they don't, then that's going to become quite the challenge, but I'll look into that for sure. Because, I know a lot of people are on TikTok, so. All right, let's read a couple comments from Not On My Watch. It looks like Shiba will be around. It appears Doge will not be around. Really? That's interesting in itself, huh? Well, I'm glad I'm going to take profits one last time on Doge then, if that's the case. And probably also SHIB, if that's the case too. All right, let's welcome back Legendary. Good to see you, man. Welcome back. Boom. All right, X marks the spot. It's not green, it's blue. Welcome back. X marks the spot. Shalom right back to Shaq Thompson. Shalom, Max and Tim and Cool and Cat. Crypto wealth and perfect health to all. Thank you so much, man. All right. Dreamer, welcome as well. Let's kick it back to what we have in the outline. And on this next particular one, we are now going to get into some of that Ripple XRP for you. It's a little bit of a combination of XRP, the whole thing with Elon Musk, all that stuff. So I think this was something that Mr. Crypto Mike was sharing with all of us the other day, yesterday, because he was probably in anticipation of a show yet being yesterday. But I had too much stuff going on yesterday in regards to get my car fixed, and I had to take the cake. I got to have a car to get around it, especially with my dad being in the hospital. My dad has been in the hospital since last Sunday. He suffered a major stroke last Sunday. It was a horrible thing. I thank you guys for your thoughts and your prayers from that you posted on Crypto X and so on. It's a slow recovery, but basically Sunday night, I was told that my dad had a 50-50 chance of living, and basically had to go see him. It's very, very heart-wrenching week, to say the least, but he has beaten the odds, which I'm extremely thankful for. And if you're wondering, why there were some nights where I'm not here, I couldn't be. It's just hard to keep a straight face sometimes and report on news and stuff like that when that's going on. But he has been downgraded from the ICU. Thank God. He's no longer on that life support. It was for 1 day. And then he got the next day he was getting better, and he was in ICU for a while. And 2 days ago, they transferred him to the progressive care unit. So, I'm trying my best to go down there as much as I can and be with him and so on. So I was like, I got to get my car worked out before I can go see him. So there was no show yesterday, and now you know why. Anyway. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to basically, get back into the whole coverage that we have. So on this one, let's pull it up. Thanks again to Crypto Mike. Check out what it says right here. This is pretty big stuff, in my opinion. So for one, we're going to thank Mr. Man. You always give him a follow. This guy dressed up as Spidey. He's a great researcher. Just because he dressed up as Spider-Man, you could take him serious. You'll be glad you did, because he has tons of info, especially when it comes to Stellar and especially XRP. Covers a little bit of QNT as well. So Mr. Man posted this, I believe, yesterday. He says, Elon Musk wants X. I want you to hear this. This is big. To be the center of your financial world, handling anything in your life that deals with money. Rollout timeframe is the end of 2024, coincidentally lined up with the implementation of MiCA. That should be your key takeaway. MiCA. You know how many times we talked about MiCA, especially when it comes to like things like XDC and so on? So if you've been following our channel for a while, we've done MiCA coverage. We're not going to do it so much tonight, but it is worth pointing out. And another thing that's worth pointing out, what about this rollout by the end of 2024? What if, and I know it sounds crazy, but what if Elon Musk mentions, you know what, there's a reason why we went with the name X, cross-border. All he has to do is mention, he doesn't even have to mention XRP, Stellar, XDC. Just mentions cross-border payments. People could find out what the heck that means in itself. That alone, let's be honest, guys, because it's Elon Musk, can definitely pump the price. Especially, you know, if he did go bull or go home, and he did mention by name Ripple as XRP, Stellar's XLM, Zinfin's XDC. I mean, of course, that'd be huge also. But it does make you wonder in that regard. And you know, he said in the past that, you know, it would be something if X could be that platform where half, was it half of the retail money? I think he said. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Of the world's money funnel through the system. You know, in those words, I guess you could say. So here's the particular article, if you will. Kind of blow it up a little bit more for you guys. Elon Musk gives X employees, listen to this, guys, 1 year to replace your bank. Replace their bank. You know how many times we talked about, you know, like, I think even Rich, Common Sense Crypto, you know how many times he talked about, like, he doesn't even have a savings account anymore? He has a checking account, because let's face it, a lot of us still have bills and stuff like that, of course. You know, and some of those outlets don't necessarily do the whole thing with crypto, right? But if Elon Musk is telling his own employees that they only have 1 year to replace their bank, and like this other statement, you won't need a bank account, it would blow my mind if we don't have that rolled out by the end of the next year. Oh my gosh. And what is the end of next year? Well, 2024. Is this all in line of what we've been talking about for the longest time? And if it's not, then you can sure fool me. You know, I'm just being honest about that. Now, me personally, maybe people agree with me or not, I'm most excited about, you know, the end of 2025, because, you know, the way I look at it, kind of like what we discussed with Will Fix the other day, you know, deadlines, right? So instead of saying, you know, full implementation, might as well just call it a deadline, right? Flip the switch, deadline, where you want to call it. But when you see this combined maybe with that, are you not getting bullish on this? Are you not entertained? I know. Sounds crazy, right? Maximus, stop doing that, right? All right. We're going to get more into some of this. Here is a little bit more of an elaboration of this. So this report from Flip of the Chain, okay, goes on to mention some of this stuff. And hopefully you guys can see it nice and big. I'll come on the frame for this because this is good stuff. I want you to see this. I want the emphasis to be on the material and not on my mug. Why is that? Well, check it out for yourself. What's it say here, guys? Elon Musk planning to expand the horizon of payments on X. Well, think about payments. You know, if we're not using banks anymore, like he mentioned, for his own employees, then it has to be crypto. What cryptos? Again, like, you know, if I'm thinking X, I'm thinking those cross-border ones. Just being real about it. So he goes on to mention this whole thing. There's a thread. There's payment licenses X is already working on. Were you aware of that? I wasn't aware of it. So let's talk about it. So I love the, you know, I should say what's covered here verbatim, but the language. Instead of flip of the switch, flip the chain. Thoughts on this move? X platform is gradually becoming a creator's platform. It is. to excel and win over its competitors like YouTube, Facebook, etc. X's decision to enhance the payment features makes sense. I'll tell you flat out, you can see the pathway forward on how this becomes a monopoly. We expect X to introduce crypto as the payment option medium on its platform. Currently, the X costs and wire costs are quite high. True. Further, the time taken to create the amount in the creator's account is considerably high. Shifting to crypto as the payment option, which can involve making use of BitPay, or for instance, RippleNet. Now, before you just like, oh my God, this is Elon Musk who said this. No, it's not Elon Musk. This is a person who made the thread. Are you kidding me? Elon Musk mentioned by name RippleNet, then yeah, I think you would saw the price get sent. All right, it says, RippleNet can credit the amount in the creator's real or account in real time. In regards to this transitioning, the crypto payments can then offer new use cases on X platform. Here are some examples, because at the end of the day, we could talk about this all day long, but do we have examples? Yes, businesses can charge micropayments for gigs or for reading a small piece of content. Instant real-time payments with the help of crypto can make several such use cases flourish on the X platform. Since X platform is accessed globally, the Twitter ID can be used to accept, transfer, and transfer an amount as peer-to-peer payment globally. I wonder what's going to get it done to make that happen. I mean, come on, guys. You already see the writing on the wall. And yes, obviously, this can be easily done with the help of RippleNet and XRP. X has already applied for payment license. And if you weren't aware of that, I'm going to take you to that for a second. And if it's nice and big, then I'll come back into the frame. If it's not, then I won't. Yeah, I can come back on the frame on this one. So let's take you to this. Yeah, here we go. Come back into the frame. So let's talk about this for a second, okay? So here is this whole thing that was referenced. It's called NMLS, Consumer Access. It's like it says verify a financial service provider. They have these terms and conditions, all right? But it's all here. That's the bottom line. And I'm going to check this box and accept it. Oh, gosh, you want me to do this stuff. So hold on a second. Let me try to do this real quick. I have verification. And there it is. Look at that. Don't you think this is big? Look at this for a second. X Payments LLC. You don't think this is massive news? I think it is. Look what it also says. Other trade names, none. Prior trade names, none. Prior legal names, yeah. Twitter Payments LLC. Huh. Interesting. Fiscal year 12/31. So I guess you could say by the end of this year. Date formed was February 2022. Interesting. What do we also know that happened around that time? Wasn't Elon Musk transitioning from Twitter to X? Going more into this. Look at these licenses. Because let's face it, guys, we live a lot of us live in the United States. Not everybody does, right? I get that. Regulator, Arizona. I live in Arizona. Money transmitter license. Interesting. Authorized to conduct business? Yes. Submitted to regulator? Yes. So you have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states where you have all yeses for authorized to conduct business. What happens when Musk gets all 50 states? Now, this is where I want to go with this. Maybe the reason why what am I turning into Crypto Hulk tonight? My God, hold on a second. All right. Maybe the reason why Musk is giving his employees this deadline, right, is because he expects that he'll have 50 states by then. That could be. I don't know that, but I mean, when you see 9 here, including my state. It makes you wonder. What about regulatory actions? It says, while some state and federal agencies may add actions taken in previous years against a license, the majority are adding only new actions from 2012 or later. Okay, interesting. But my main thing is for you is the ones already on this list and authorized to conduct business. Well, what about this? What about when word gets out that in these states they can basically do do everything that we are all dreaming to do as a collective group for the continental United States or all 50 states eventually? Shouldn't we see a little bit of price action? Maybe. Is X big enough platform to make that happen? Not yet. But what about when we do get to the point where, this replaces some of the other big platforms? I mean, let's be honest. The X platform in itself, Elon Musk's hope and wishes for it to be the one-stop shop. So if it's a one-stop shop, then we should also have one-stop cross-border payments for both the retail side of things, your Stellars, the trade sector, right? XDC. And how about your, cross-border payments for the central banks and so on, your XRP. So literally X gonna give it to you, right? I mean, let's just, it sounds funny, but he's setting things up. He sees the bigger picture. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'm gonna say that if Elon Musk is already worth $250 billion, is it too crazy to say that if X platform accomplishes 50% of all the world's payments to this platform, becomes a funnel system? Just think about outside the box. Wouldn't that make Elon Musk at maybe by 2030 or something like that a trillionaire? He becomes the first trillionaire. I know it sounds insane. Some people are like, nah, Max, you don't understand how much a trillion is. I do understand how much of a trillion is. But if he's already at that right now, as we speak, he kind of hovers in the area of richest man in the world or second or third, right? You bring this in, combined with your Teslas, combined with, everything else he's got going on and so on, SpaceX and so on. It just sounds crazy. And then how about this, guys? Did we forget the whole thing of, I guess you could say, they won't come out and officially say, but I guess colonizing the moon, or not the moon, Mars at some point. I mean, isn't the mission by 2030 or below that to actually put a man on Mars and make some kind of sustainable ecosystems on there and whatnot? Well, won't they need some kind of currency? I know. I don't know. It just sounds nuts. I get it. But all these things before all these other things happen, then yeah, I'm going to say Elon Musk probably going to be a trillionaire at some point. I don't care if it's an unpopular thing to say. Might as well say it. All right. I'm going to do a stop share on this. I'm going to double check what we have in regards to a little bit more about this. Oh, okay. So there's a little bit more. I want to show you some other visuals because this is a good segment, just in case you were tuning in. Let's have you take a look at this. Let's blow this up. All right. So, yeah, let's blow it up a little bit more. Come out of the frame. All right. So basically speaking, zoom in just a tad bit more. There we go. Nice and huge. All right. So you should be able to view this from like your couch or something. This was reported from The Verge. Are we on the verge of cross-border payments on the X platform? I think the answer is yes. Elon Musk wants X to be the center of your financial world, handling anything in your life that deals with money. No kidding. Look what it says here. He expects those features to launch by the end of 2024. He told X employees during an all-hands call on Thursday, saying that people will be surprised with, quote, just how powerful it is. Look at this other quote from him. When I say payments, as in him, Musk, I actually mean someone's entire financial life, Musk said, according to audio of the meeting obtained by The Verge. If it involves money, it'll be on our platform, money or securities or whatever, or securities. Again, think about why he's mentioning that. Well, think about Larry Fink talks about the tokenization of securities and bonds and so on. So if it involves money, it'll be on our platform. Well, then that tells me XRP, XLM, XDC, maybe some of these other ones. Remember we saw the whole thing of the back and forth with Gilbert Verdi and a Quant. So there's that too. Money or securities or whatever. So it's not just like send 20 to a friend. I'm talking about like you won't need a bank account. Now, I will come back into the frame on this one because I want to talk about this for a brief moment. When you see statements of you won't need a bank account, now for one, some people are going to reference a lot of things when it comes to the doom and gloom of things, a dollar crash and so on. But say what you want. Doesn't this pound home that much more for these digital assets that we own? I think it does. Because we are focused on supply and demand of the particular assets that we hold. Our XRPs, our Stellars, or XDCs, and so on. By having a shift, literally mention here the blueprint of how this all happens and so on, then why be oblivious to the whole notion that no, it's not going to happen and so on? Yeah, it can happen. You are seeing as we speak, there's other people that point some of these things out. I don't have the video at the time. I don't know if it's Crypto Mike has it, but I'll try to look it up here in a bit. But it talks about for many, many years, you have, for instance, with stocks, the S&P 500, and you have, for instance, BTC, and they run in correlation. But what happened within this last 2 weeks? For the first time ever, it's no longer in correlation. That is worth pointing out. Now, there's, like he says, there's not enough data to, you need like at least a year or more of data to support this thesis of this breakout in regards to it not being, what do you call it? Decoupling. Yeah, decoupling from stocks. But when I go back to even this statement here, it says to me as a holder of this stuff, wow, Musk stating that you won't need a bank account. If you don't need a bank account, that in itself creates supply and demand for these particular assets. And what will that also mean in regards to the time frame of this 4-year boom cycle and so on, right? If you follow these cycles, it's like, all this stuff is starting to kind of add up, if you will. Added up before, why wouldn't it add up now? And especially now, will this next cycle be the big mother lode of them all? I think it will be. Now, getting more into what is mentioned here, it states that, ex-CEO Linda Yaccarino gets chopped off on the bottom. Said the company sees this becoming a full opportunity in 2024. It would blow her mind. Well, it gets chopped off, but yeah, full opportunity in 2024. Well, what are other factors? BTC halving and so on. So I don't know, I think it's pretty big stuff. We'll show you just a tad bit more in regards to this, and we'll kick it back in the comments. Let's pull up the next page. Yeah, this is good stuff. I'll come out of the frame again. What's it say? Elon Musk gives ex-employees 1 year to replace your account. There's the official statement, I guess you could say, posted on yesterday. So it's not like it's super old news, guys. I know a lot of you guys don't use Twitter and X, and that's okay, but that's why we like to keep you informed. So there's that. You won't need an account. It would blow my mind if we don't have that rolled out. Okay, this is where it's chopped off. Roll out by the end of next year. So boom. There you go. Crazy, crazy stuff. And of course, there's that video of what we just showed you earlier. I didn't know there was a video there, so sorry about that. X payment licenses, right? 9 states, for crying out loud. I guess there's another video here. All right, we'll get into a little bit more of this. Let me see here. Yeah, we're going to read 2 more things. So here's another video. Let's pull this up as well. This one's a minute. It's from this guy, Flip of the Chain. I'm going to follow this guy. This guy's got great information. You can be followed over at Flip the Chain. If you're using X, always good to follow people like this. So he says a similar use case which makes use of RippleNet currently exists. If RippleNet is removed, we will go out of business, says Go Lance CFO. Go out of business. What about, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not rooting for anybody going out of business, I'm also looking at it from the perspective, well, what will that do for the assets that we own? I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer at this point. Is the accumulation phase coming to an end? That's another thing we need to ask ourselves. So a similar use case which makes use of RippleNet exists. Let's play this. If you appreciate the content, please smash that like. Here we go.
So it's like a value paradox, right? If I have a wire that I need to send, a $50,000 wire to a vendor, and I send it a little after cutoff, they'll get it the next day. No big whoop, right? But if I have 5,000 freelancers in a very challenging corridor where the average ticket is $150 or $200, they're depending on that money. And I don't hear like one client going, hey, or one vendor going, hey, did you send that wire out? I hear from everybody. So the ability with some of the upgrades that we've been doing to hold cash in our account, send a message to our bank saying, okay, here's the transfers we want to book today, and then having them flow through RippleNet via book transfer through your system to the end user is any day of the week, day or night. That's been huge for us.
Crazy to hear that perspective. All right. I think that just about wraps up this particular segment. It's going to double check. Let me see real quick. Nope. There's one last part. And this is good too. I don't want to leave this out. So let's show this as well. All right. Here it is. So it's from this guy, By the Crypto Dip. I don't know if I follow him, but if he has more good info, I will. X marks the spot. Our friend X marks the spot's probably thinking, why are you saying my name? I'm talking about this on the screen. X marks the spot for the fourth industrial revolution, huh? Look at this. X marks the spot literally. X is going to become the app for everything. Check out China's WeChat app. Same deal. Now, he mentions a couple things by name. He says Elon hates PayPal. I think that's, yeah, I would say at this point he probably does. And he is going to destroy it with X. X will integrate crypto, specifically the X coins, Stellar's XLM, and XDC to bring you a storefront on blockchain. It's a combination of OpenSea, PayPal, and eBay meets NFTs and tokenization. Pounding it home more on tokenization. This is a good perspective. We will share most of this. I want you guys to see this. This is good, always worth sharing. Imagine a store where someone can post a product, be anything, or it can be anything someone would want to buy, from houses, real estate, to baseball or Pokemon cards. The store will use XDC, for instance, for smart contracts, and XLM for instant cross-border payments. I already gave this example, but he's also seeing what I'm saying. Talks about cross-border. Yes, this isn't just an online storefront for one country. The special thing about the fourth industrial revolution is that it uses blockchain tech to bring the world's businesses together, I should say. And what's most important is that it allows small businesses to sell products online from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world very quickly. Borders not matter anymore in this transaction because the contracting stipulations from country to country have already been worked out and uploaded to the XDC smart contract. All right, so country to country. What about this whole thing that Elon Musk has in regards to state to state? See how he's already done that? 9 states out of 50. Going more into this. So if you want to buy a 10% stake in a rental property, remember what Will Fix was talking about? This is pounds home a lot of what Will was talking about in regards to Lofty. And its value is tokenized enough for selling X, you can do it. You could do it instantly for a super low price. For example, 0.501, aka the cost to move funds through the Stellar network. That's a great example. The time and minimal cost the time and minimal costs are super key here because the cost to settle on buying a property is usually quite large. True. If you ever been through that, my fees were around $12,000 to buy and settle contract on my home, and it took 60 days. Why wait when everything is instant and practically free to buy on X? That's a great point. That right there should be your proof, in my opinion, for why, like, you have 50% of people who will choose the X platform. So even though Elon Musk says, that very well could happen, half of the world's commerce, I guess you could say, passes through X. When you see statements like this, is he too far off on that? I mean, let's just be real. Is he really too far off on what he's saying? Because, price sells. It always has. It says, don't forget the many jobs you cut from the transaction. There is no more realtor, lawyer, or bank doing any of the work during those 60 days of normal home purchases. My God. That's crazy. Think about it. More people will find out about this and just go with it. And if you make it easy for them to use the platform, they'll, word of mouth is the best advertising. And especially if it saves people money and they get things done more quickly compared to the old system. Entire industries are going to cease to exist. I was literally just thinking that. I wonder what that will do for unemployment claim numbers. I mean, when we talk about AI as a threat to us all, how about this new monetary system that we're entering? It's a threat to who? Traditional finance. Some people say, this might be why, people that were in traditional finance didn't want to see this come to fruition. I could see where they're coming from. Entire industries are going to cease to exist. Yeah, I agree. You said that. All right, so this one, the fourth industrial revolution is upon us. We've been talking about this for a while. X is going to use blockchain, NFTs, Stellar, XLM, XDC to become PayPal, eBay, OpenSea to bring it to life. Fingers crossed in regards to the next industrial revolution starts before the United States falls, because that would be huge. Yeah, this guy deserves a follow. All right, I'm going to come back into the frame. That's crazy stuff. When you look at the bigger picture of it and so on, my goodness. All right, after this, we have, of course, some more. We're going to talk about XRP. We're going to talk about BRICS. Got some coverage from Crypto Mike we're going to share. After that, we got a little bit of Stellar in regards to Jed McCaleb, who talks about Velo. Some of you guys are into Velo. So we have quite a bit more to get into. Thank you for being here. And let's get back into the comments. All right, so we got X marks the spot. You've been hearing your name a lot, not intentionally. Maxter Yo, thank you for being here. And you're very welcome, April. Jasmy will be worth much more. I'm not on my watch. That didn't sound right. That's from you, anyway. And in reality, it won't be on my watch because I can't thread the needle of prices, right? Anyway. Let's welcome the one and only Mr. Selmo Fudd. He said, what up, Max? Do your own research. Thank you very much for being here tonight, Mr. Selmo Fudd. Yeah, I don't like the firmware upgrades and so on, but you can always retract back. Jack Thompson Flair's design is the family crest of the Fudder family, one of the council of 13 families that will run the world. 500 billion or more of wealth. Max does our research. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, do your own research with moi. All right. All right. Yes, everybody saying hello to each other. Good stuff. Marvin Davis, yo, Max. Are any of y'all buying Ripple shares? I think eventually a lot of us are going to do that. Seems like a nice thing to do. But if I had to compare Ripple shares to one making XRP, there's no comparison. That's just my opinion. All right. Let's see here. Let's see if you guys have any specific questions. All right. Let's welcome John Francis. Good to see you. The anonymous crypto ghost. All right. Jasmy and Junk. There is no spoon. Welcome. Wish him a good recovery. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a very sad situation. He's been having a very hard time for about a year. I mean, the most he's been home in the last year is like 2 months, and then it would go from there to, I don't know, man. It's just there's always something. I try my best and so on, but it's a sad thing. Um, but I did get contacted from one of the doctors yesterday, stating that they're going to do some kind of it's like a minor surgery. It's not a major surgery, but um, he feels confident that it could very well help prevent my dad from getting more strokes, and that sounds good to me. So it's got a funny name because I'm actually a fan of this comic. It's called The Watchmen. So we'll see what happens with that and so on. All right, let's see here. Yeah, it's just sometimes at the time I just didn't want to post all the personal business and so on. And then I thought, as the saying goes, when two or three are gathered upon thee, it's just power in numbers when it comes to prayer. So if you're the type of person that prays, I do appreciate that because he could use all the prayers he can get. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's heart wrenching to say the least to be told that 50-50 chance, but he beat the chances. He's a really tough old guy. Like even when he was younger, in his younger days, people used to say like you're the toughest guy. No, don't mean that like a tough guy. Like go back to Jersey, you bum. That my dad don't sound like that. He's not from New York or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, he is a tough old guy. And it wasn't until recent years that he didn't even look his age. Now he's starting to kind of look his age because of all the health problems and so on. But he's beaten diabetes. They told me that. They're like, well, you don't really have to worry about your dad with the whole thing of being diabetic because his A1C levels are like at 6. He practically doesn't have it. And I just basically told the doctor, I'd rather have my dad be fat and be able to walk around on his own with diabetes than to not have it and have the problems he has. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing I've always noticed. Even back in the days with my mom with cancer, that was another thing too. She used to joke around, hey, look, I'm skinny again. And it's just like, Mom, I'd rather have you, a little chunky or something and healthy than have freaking cancer, But, it's better to laugh as cry, right? That's one of those things. Thank you, Gerald. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate the well wishes. Thank you so much. As you guys know, he's been fighting this thing for a little over a year now. It all started basically in October of last year. So it's been an ongoing thing. But thank you. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, you guys are nice. Thank you so much. Bobby Lorede, welcome. Glad to have you. Jack Thompson, your dad died in March this year. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. For real. I mean, that has got to be a gut cruncher, heart wrencher. Max, my prayer for you and your dad to thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I made that prayer, when I was given that 50-50 chance. We'll get back in the crypto thing here in a bit, you guys. But when he was given a 50-50 chance last Sunday, I just prayed. I said, Lord, if it's in your will for, my dad to be well, then he's going to be well. But he needs real healing and not just like this temporary stuff. And I really meant it. There's one thing to really pray and to mean it. I did. And then there was the other thing of, I said, to get healed, or if it needs to be a case where, you take him to the kingdom of heaven and gets to be back with my mom and her family, then that happens too. It's not a lack of faith. It's just, it's more like just being real about it. It's like whatever's in God's will, then it just needs to happen. But at the same time, it's like we all miss our loved ones, It's a hard thing to talk about, but thank you guys. All right, let's see here. Let's go further down. See what you guys have. Legendary says Elon has been saying he wants to emulate the Chinese WeChat model. I didn't know that. That's news to me. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. So replace banks with basically these digital assets and so on, like saying you don't need to, because here's the thing, Tia, what's one example that we've been following for a while? Whether I don't know if you're into Stellar, I would assume maybe you are, But one great example of everything we're talking about tonight is like Wisdom Tree, right? The Wisdom Tree app with Stellar and so on. Being able to pay your bills and so on with that particular app is game changer. Well, technically speaking, if a person was just going to do that and we had like widespread mass adoption, not just a few particular outlets that accept that as payment, but that widespread adoption, like I mentioned before, I always felt as though Stellar is going to be, that cryptocurrency that stands out as far as, paying bills or sending, funds, right? Instead of doing it Western Union, you just do it Stellar. Somebody like in the middle of some hard to reach area, like in the Congo or wherever the place be, it would be Stellar. Then that technically replaces a bank, because think of how long a bank transfer would be to send the money. So yeah, I would say replace, those banks, the traditional finance model, with these new things, your Stellars, your XRPs, your XDCs, you name it, right? Right, you become your own bank. Absolutely. It's crazy. Some people are like, just that whole thought. And can you imagine us talking about this back in like the 90s? I think people will just look at it like we're nuts, but it's a real thing. All right, that's what happens when you leave your phone open. All right, let's read this from Blackwood. Before Elon plans to expand, we should address the scammers and identity thieves who are crawling throughout the corpse of Twitter like roaches. Yeah. And how about this for a second? If AI is going to replace jobs, then wouldn't we think that AI could eventually, be how should I say it? There would be like an AI pest control, like a virtual pest control. I pay for these guys to come out every 2 months to spray. I can't afford to get pneumonia again, so they come out and they spray, all around my yard. It's non-hazardous chemicals, and they spray for ants, scorpions, all that stuff, right? To get rid of all the bugs, because I don't want them in the house, period. So if we have AI that's supposed to, let's face it, replace a lot of jobs, then I imagine at some point there's got to be some kind of AI that's going to, be little, T600s or Terminators for Crypto X, Twitter, and so on. Blackwood. It may not seem like it now. I agree with you now. It's annoying having to report all these guys, and it just seems like it. The more that we kill off, it just 1,000 more come into place, and not just on Twitter, but we see on YouTube and so on. But I do think eventually that the AI will get smarter and they'll have solid plans and so on. How about this for a second? We talk about, XRP, Stellar, all this stuff, having a ledger to verify things. What about, for instance, X in itself, aka Twitter? It has a system in which it verifies all user accounts instantly, instead of this long way of, having the staff verify it to see if you're, hey, you gotta be Twitter blue. In the future, they're going to do this the right way. Why not put the X platform on a public ledger, to a sense? That way you could see who's the freaking bots and the scammers and so on, and then have an AI trigger to zap them out. It sounds crazy, but I don't think it's too crazy. I honestly think that could be a solution. I'm just saying. All right. Let's also welcome, I don't know if I welcomed you earlier, but Dennis Leal, good to have you. GT's in the house. Carl Weathers, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Elon Musk says there is like 5 fake Maxes. Go report them. I have reported them. They need to go down, but thank you. Yeah. The only real Maximus is the one that has the Twitter blue thing. That's why I have it. Not only that, I have to have it. I need it I can make longer posts. I don't like the whole idea of, having DM limits. That's ridiculous. But, say what you want. Twitter was about to go bankrupt. Elon Musk, not Muff, came up with a plan to save Twitter and so on. Maybe that was one of the main things to help save Twitter. Maybe he was like, you know what? So people that say to themselves, maybe you guys do too. Why did they charge $8? You got to look at the bigger picture of things. Maybe $8 was like, okay, it has to be $8, and here's how many users we'll probably get. And by having this residual income coming in, this means we don't sink. Well, that's pretty genius, you know? Anyway. Has anybody seen Legrand lately? I missed that guy. Give him a call up. You have his phone number. Give him a call up on the phone sometime or send him a text. You know? I do miss him though. I probably should give him a holler. All right, let's read this from X marks the spot. I'm gonna read a couple more and we'll kick it back into the outline. You keep saying X, and I keep thinking you talk. Yeah, I know. I said that, right? I did say that. That's a good point. All right, let's see here. If they clone you, Max, you can get legal. Yeah, supposedly. But how do you get legal with somebody that don't exist? All right. It's kind of like trying to me get in legal with somebody that's behind 5 or 6 VPNs. How am I going to realistically do that? But I get where you come from, Jack, and I do appreciate the suggestion. All right. Yes. X. Boy. All righty then. X gonna give it to you. All right. Maybe Elon will use Jasmy in Japan. Maybe. Because here's the thing. He does definitely have a data privacy problem. And if you really think about it, isn't Jasmy all about data privacy? I'm just saying. And we did that big piece about that a long time ago. All right, I want to welcome the one and only Stardog. Good to see you, Stardog. And we'll read one more comment. It's from Z, Max, Mike, Ed, Alex, Tim. We should have a team meeting if you guys are interested, like the old days. I'm interested. Just, you know, do we have anything solid that we'll talk about? I mean, it's one thing to talk with your broskies, which is cool. But it's another just to talk. I don't know. I don't mean that in a bad way. All right, let's see here. We'll read this. Jack Thompson, Max the trillionaires are the banking families, and they're in. I know about that. I know about the families, but I'm talking about could one eventually be, you know, a trillionaire, you know, by himself? That's never happened. I honestly think that the X platform can make that happen. I'm just being real about that. I mean, the statement of half of the world's commerce, or, you know, money flow, payments, and so on comes through X. That's a big, huge statement. And there's one guy behind it that owns it. I mean, and he's already currently worth what? Like $250 billion right now, roughly? And that's without this whole thing coming into fruition? Yeah, I think that's very well a possibility by 2030. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just being real about it. I'm like, yeah, I think that might happen. Can you imagine how much these assets would be worth then? So it's like for some of us, you know, we sell this stuff. For some of us, we marry it, and we get paid interest through staking and so on. Not financial advice, but I'm just looking at it from the perspective that there's some that you marry and there's some that you don't. I know that's an unpopular thing for content creators to say, but that's just me being real. All right, let's kick it back to what we have in the outline tonight. We have some more Ripple XRP. We're going to jump into it. Thank you to Crypto Mike for some of this. So I think it might be that. It might actually be Stellar. It's XRP and BRICS. All right, so we're going to pull up the branding for that. You know how this goes. Pull up the little, you know, XRP. All right, let's get into it. Man, too much coughing tonight. At least I mute my mic instead of sound like a Lunin cough drop. Like, you know who. All right, so let's get into this. This is from a lady by the name of Amalia. Wow. Interesting. All right, so she's Czech German, and she has this. So let's get into it. BRICS currency is almost ready. You know how many times we talked about this? Is it really almost ready? Make your own, I don't know, draw your own conclusion in that regard. It says this could mean the end of the US dollar as the world reserve currency. Now, this has been brought up quite a few times. It says XRP could become the reserve currency of the new world, as David Schwartz recently confirmed in an X Space. Okay, fair enough. So, what is this about? Why does it matter to you? Well, let's go ahead and open up the next part of what this is about. So, this was reported from Watcher Guru. And in this, so many ads on Watcher Guru. Anyway, so the BRICS currency is almost ready, confirms an economist. It was reported yesterday, so it's still fairly new. BRICS, we know about BRICS, right? They basically are a threat to GDP power rankings as a group, as in, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, right? And there's other countries that could very well be joining BRICS. But they are a threat, and we do reference them quite a bit. So here it is. Russian economist Sergei Glazyev made a huge announcement on the development of the upcoming BRICS BRICS currency. Excuse me. The soon to be released BRICS currency aims to replace the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. Glazyev confirmed in a recent interview on Thursday that the BRICS currency is almost ready. He explained that the technicalities of the yet to be launched BRICS currency are put in place and the tools are created. So the tools to be created. Well, getting more into this, it states BRICS has kept all details about the upcoming currency under wraps. That is true. Little to no information to the West. Yeah, of course not. Why would they want to share that with the West? They, for the most part, especially, let's face it, Russia, not exactly big fans of the West. The new currency is expected to challenge the U.S. dollar in the international markets. The alliance is advancing in convincing developing countries to begin using the new currency for global trade and ditch, of course, the U.S. dollar. Russian economist confirms BRICS currency is almost ready. And look at that visual representation. That's crazy. Glazyev confirmed that the BRICS currency, I guess this is kind of like a reiteration, is almost ready and needs political consent from all the group members before release. Here's another statement from him. Technically, this currency is almost ready, he said, and continued. The software and mathematical tools have been created. And then also mentions, in order to launch this currency, we need the political consent of the BRICS countries, 3 of which have already expressed their support for the idea of introducing a new currency through the heads of state, he said. If the BRICS currency grows stronger and gets accepted by many countries, the United States dollar will be in jeopardy. BRICS could suffocate the U.S. dollar by dimming its demand and supply in the global markets. The consequences of the world not using the U.S. dollar could be catastrophic. Yeah, I would agree with that. To the American economy. It says, read to know how many sectors in the U.S. will collapse if BRICS is basically stops using the dollar for trade. I want to get into that for a second because that is interesting and it sounds like doom and gloom. So it's another piece from Watcher Guru. Here are the 10 U.S. sectors basically to be affected if BRICS stops using just that, the U.S. dollar. So for one, this was reported, excuse me, I'm trying to do my best Crypto Hulk impersonation. It just comes out naturally. All right, Vinod D'Souza reported this on October 4th. So it goes on to mention this. And it says, there was a summit that ended last August. Of course, the bloc inducted 6 new countries into the group, leading oil-producing nations such as Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia will join the alliance in January 2024. My God. Also, Argentina is the only new BRICS member that does not produce and export oil. Argentina got recently brought up in the news that there's a particular political advocate, leans, more to the right, that says that he wants to, I don't have his name handy right now, but I remember listening on the radio. But this particular gentleman was wanting to embrace the US dollar. And So there's that. But anyway, yeah, Argentina is the only new BRICS member that does not produce and export oil. The one common thing between the 11 member BRICS group is their disdain for, of course, the US dollar. No kidding. Over BRICS is looking to end dependency on the dollar, promoting local currencies for cross-border transactions. I was hoping that they would have got more into some of this other news about it, but oh, here's the sectors. My bad. Yeah, I was like, where are they going with this? All right, so here's the actual financial sectors. Finally, let's get into this. That will be effective if BRICS uses local currencies, not dollar, right? Here they are. So you would have the global financial system. Funny how that's mentioned, right, guys? I mean, we talk about going into the quantum financial system. So literally, yeah, think about that for a second. Number 2, banking and finance. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that's a given. Energy and commodity markets. So just before we get more into this, I want you guys to pay attention to this. Global financial system. The new global financial system will be the quantum financial system. Now, some people will state, well, shouldn't banking and finance be above that? No, because if you look at the bigger conglomerate, wouldn't it be the quantum financial system? I think it would be. So I can understand why they label that as number 1, right? So number 2, of course, banking and financial, energy and commodity markets. I mean, if you want to look at it from this perspective, Hedera definitely stands out in regards to energy. You can even say Jasmy stands out in regards to energy because what they're also doing in regards to green and carbon credits and the Rice Crop Consortium, right? All that stuff. Number 4, international trade investments. I mean, let's face it, XDC. Kind of funny how with old Max, XDC is consistently my number 4, my top 5. Call it what you want. Capital markets, something I don't talk about as much, probably should talk about more. So when I first started my crypto journey, I would always talk about Clearpool. And if you're interested in Clearpool, you can look at Clearpool in the video section. Did over 30 videos about them. Why was that? Because they are a capital markets ecosystem. It's the tokenization of DeFi lending. Now, notice how that is literally ranked number 5 on this list. Huh. I wasn't aware of that, Max. Well, now you are. Anyway, I'm kidding. Number 6, consumer goods and retail. You know, yeah, big industry. Production and consumption. That's interesting. I don't own Dematra, but Dematra is all over that, right? Number 8, technology and fintech. That's a big industry. Government and policy, right? Last but not least, travel and tourism. Travel and tourism needs to have enablers that, you know, like when we talked about, what was it, Travala and some of these other ones, and how they basically incorporate certain payment channels tied into crypto. Moreover, all the 10 sectors are closely linked to the United States economy and could have complications if the dollar loses demand. True. Once the financial markets are hit, the domino effect could roll over to all sectors, leading to financial catastrophe. In conclusion, if the U.S. fails to fund its deficit, prices of all commodities could skyrocket or even reach hyperinflation. And combine that, for instance, you know, with where we're at, we're approaching the end of 2023, entering the 2024. The 100-year anniversary of the world famous stock market crash of 1929. I mean, I don't know why it seems like it's almost 100 years, you know, in between of these things happening, but that's worth pointing out. All right, getting more into some of this, I'm going to jump into the next part of what we have. I want to share this with you. This is now some Stellar, so hopefully you guys appreciate some Stellar. And then after this, we'll take a pause, kick it back into the comments. So on this particular one, actually, before we get into it, let me just double check the other screen. I don't want to make sure I missed anything. Oh, God, I did. I missed a super chat. How dare me, Maximus? Yes, I apologize. I hate when I do that because sometimes when I look at the other screen, the comment goes away. So I apologize. Let's recognize the super chat. Let's see how long ago it was. I'm so sorry. All right, let's see where we're at. So 7:22. That wasn't too long of a wait. 20 minutes. So thank you so much for the super chat. It's from Dan Armin. $10 super chat. Prayers for your dad for you and your dad, Max. Thank you so much, man. And sorry about the slight delay in regards to getting to your super chat. I do thank you. I love the Napoleon Dynamite, profile picture avatar. Super cool. Love that movie. Also love the cut scenes from the DVD that weren't in the actual movie. Like when him and Pedro go shopping for his outfit to the, I guess the prom. That was kind of funny. All right. Yes. Means a lot, though. Thank you. All right. Let me double check that other screen real quick, making sure I didn't miss anything else. Let me see. Corey Bebe, thank you, Professor Max. Thanks, man. Not on my watch, so I'm sorry to hear about your pod. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's one of those things. Matthew Perry died? Oh, that Matt. Okay. I was thinking for a second, like Matthew Perry, the guy always comes on camera. He's just like, hey guys, Matt here. No, not okay. So not the content creator. All right. The real Matthew Perry from really interesting. Wonder where he died from. I have to look that up. All right. Let's see here. Making sure I didn't lose anything. I also want to welcome Salamander, the XDC commander. Thank you for being here. Also, I see in the comments, it's the one and only Boomer Effing Sooner. Thank you for being here, Mr. Boomer Effing Sooner. All right. We also have a super chat from, or super sticker, sorry, from Salamander. Let's go ahead and highlight that as well. Also, welcome to Ricketiffman. All right. Good to have you here. And yes, there we go. Thank you very much, Salamander, XDC Commander. Boom. All right, let's use that as a bookmark. You guys are going to like this. This part is got a nice visual for you. Let's jump into it. If Stellar's your thing, and Velo and all that, let's get into just that. This comes from Mr. Crypto Disciple. We follow each other. Good guy. He always talks about Stellar, Stronghold. Some of you guys are always said, Max, you need to talk more about SHX. Well, look what's mentioned here. On this particular one, he says that Stellar blockchain will be a beast. Absolute beast. Mr. Jed McCaleb, King of Crypto, talks in regards to Velo. I did one video about Velo. Probably should do more. Says, I would look into this project if I were y'all. This is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This is good. I re-reviewed it. I wanted to share it with you guys. Here we go.
Year after year, the remittance market in Southeast Asia continues to grow. These services are now valued at $150 billion a year. There are millions of unbanked migrant workers that send money back home to their families, yet are not well served by the high fees and slow service provided by the decades-old SWIFT system and fragmented corresponding banking network. Recognizing that the world's financial infrastructure doesn't serve a large majority of the population, the Stellar Development Foundation aims to facilitate the use of decentralized systems to build inclusive and accessible resources for those that need them most. Recently, Stellar's core focus has been encouraging the implementation and adoption of a better cross-currency transaction system in Southeast Asia, driven largely by their work with Velo. Velo has formed a number of strategic partnerships with fintech leaders, including Visa, Lightnet Group, Kuiper Networks, Chainlink, and others that will continue to expand the company's reach. By tapping into Velo's network of key stakeholders and leveraging Stellar, Velo Labs will be able to provide more efficient, affordable, and accessible financial services for millions of people. Integrating these two teams is a significant step not only for the companies to continue their work together, but for the entire Stellar ecosystem, as it offers the potential to drive more anchors to the network. Anchors connect the Stellar network to traditional banking rails so that all the world's currencies can interoperate on a single seamless platform. As the critical link between the Stellar network and the traditional banking system in their respective countries, anchors are positioned to leverage a variety of business models and monetization strategies to best reach their customers. Together, we will increase the number and types of on and off ramps in Asia. This will lead to new business opportunities for both Velo and Stellar communities. This team will deliver products and services built on Stellar that contribute to long-term growth and sustainability of the network, and foster the use cases that have clear value for end users. Our plan is to continue both of these efforts and also start to focus more explicitly on adding and growing use cases in ways that lead to a scalable network effects. As we move closer to the future we want to see, where Stellar is connecting global financial infrastructure so that it's faster, more affordable, and more accessible to send money anywhere around the world. When I created Stellar and founded Interstellar, this was the kind of growth and engagement I hope to see in the ecosystem, with projects and talents from around the world finding innovative ways to use this technology and make a difference in people's lives. I believe that this next phase of Velo Labs is going to make a significant difference for those companies.
Do you guys notice? It was down 99%. Yeah, you know what that means, right? It means that Velo scam. That's right. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, thought I'd show that to you guys, right? Because, you know, some of you guys are like, hey, let's talk about something other than just the typical ones, you know, Sorbonne and so on. Well, there you go. I was pronouncing it wrong. I always thought it was a Velo. I'll try to do a better job of doing that. Remember back in the day when I used to call Fiat, you know, hey, you know, I come around, right? You know, I get with the picture. All right, let's jump into a little bit more of what we have. I'll read a few more comments that I might, you know, probably miss because Salamander's super chat was towards the bottom. Let's see here. Mr. J, welcome back. How are the tokenomics on that token? I don't know what one you're talking about, so sorry about that. Let's see here. Starlink and Tesla phone. Elon will dominate. Yep. And Stardog, let's read one from you, man. It says accidental drowning on story I'm reading, but could be that sucks, man. That's not good. Heart attack. Huh. Heart attack and then drowning? That'd be weird. People drown in bathtubs all the time, falling asleep after drinking, or that's a good point. You know, I'm more of a shower guy, but you know what? Sometimes it is nice to soak in a bathtub just to kind of relieve your joints and stuff like that and your muscles. All right, Salamander. He hopes X Twitter accepts XRP payments. I see that happening eventually. And also Stellar. Let's read this from Gerald. As always, thanks, Max, for your insight, and good night to all. Well, you're welcome. That must mean you took off. I mean, I understand you guys got schedules and stuff. Not to say I don't have a schedule, but you know, anyway. The one and only, they should make an AI both to destroy all fake accounts. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I mean, if they got AI that could write us books and stuff like that, you know, it's like, or how about this latest one, like Tupac and I saw some Tupac and DMX AI that sounds really legit, you know, like where the guy literally came up with his own songwriting, and they could do that, but they can't zap out these bots on Crypto X. That's ridiculous. Stardog, Revolut, you can buy crypto and make a virtual card to spend crypto as well. Pounds, dollars, euros, it does everything. Regulated as a money app here in the UK. Can even buy stocks and gold, etc. Awesome. Stardog, Revolut. Huh. 54. Jeez, he's only 12 years, or was 12 years older than me. All of this is not for me, but for my family. Oh, well, that's good that you're trying to take care of your family, man. Awesome. All right. I think I'm caught up for the most part. Again, let's welcome Mr. Ricketiffy and Moonbird. Welcome back. I see people die all the time, especially after COVID started. X marks the spot. Have your father take 1 teaspoon of natto kinase per day. It reverses blood clots. A Japanese soy that's fermented. Interesting. He's on a medicine regimen to break that up, and that was why he was given a 50-50 chance. They're saying that if the medicine didn't work, then it would most likely be fatal. But I thank you for that recommendation, and if anything, I will write that down, because you know what? I gotta stay positive that I'll eventually be able to come home. So natto can PC take 1 teaspoon a day. breaks up blood clots. All right. Say that for a second. That's good info. Thank you. All right. And I think I'm all caught up for the most part. All right, let's go to the bottom. AI bots are all over. Ain't that many dumb people out there. Good point. Tomato. That's okay. Cordell Lewis, welcome. Any thoughts on... I don't have anything WASP related. I don't have thoughts on it. Nothing against it. I just don't want to cover it. I'm not going to flood your bag. I just choose not to cover WASP anymore. Sorry if that's disappointing. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to get into this next part of what we have, and it's some interesting stuff. So we shared that whole thing about Velo. Yeah, let's jump a little bit more back into a combination of things. XRP, XDC, Stellar, HBAR, Casper, and even Quant, apparently. I don't know. Maybe. So this comes from Crypto Mike, reposting something from the one and only Cypress Domanicore. You can give Cypress a follow if you choose to do so. Here it is. And before we get into this, just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, please smash the like. Currently at 53 likes, 39 people watching. Not bad. Hour and 41 minutes. All right, here we go. So Cypress says, pay attention. Trillions. Crypto is only the beginning. All the world's assets will be tokenized. We've been saying this for a while. Excuse me. This is bigger than most even realize. XRP, XDC, Stellar, HBAR, Casper with the hard R, and Quant. Share, comment, like, especially if you're holding these. And if you're holding them for a while, right? Holding strong. 3 minutes and 32 seconds. This is very interesting. At least I thought it was. And thank you again to Crypto Mike for resharing this. I'll go ahead and reshare it as well. Share it as well, excuse me. All right, here we go.
Lee, if we assume that, when we talk about digital asset markets and the transformation of financial markets, we're talking not only about crypto markets, which can be seen as a kind of testbed and stepping stone to those, but also to tokenization, so tokenized asset markets. Can you explain a little bit about tokenization and the benefits that it brings?
Sure. And I'll start by saying, look, our goal is to digitize all of the world's assets. Our goal is to digitize all of the world's assets.
Actually, what's even larger again is investable grade assets that currently aren't serviced by financial services at all. And there are any number of assessments as to what those things might be and how big it might be. But we believe we're talking sort of somewhere in the region of $500 to $600 trillion worth of investable assets in the world that are just frankly currently unserviced by the traditional financial services markets.
This chart won't be a surprise to anyone on the call today. It really tries to capture the mammoth size of the market opportunity, addressing more than 1,700 trillion in assets, which are likely to become digital.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the numbers? Because you've quoted to me before some pretty large numbers. The ICC says there is a trade finance gap of 1.7 trillion worldwide, which is a pretty large number anyway. But you quoted much bigger figures on working capital. Could you just explain what those figures are?
So it's quite difficult to figure out how you want to draw the boundaries around the working capital market. But if you look at it sort of nuts to bolts for everything from SME to very large corporates and all product types, the amount of capital deployed by the financial sector to fund businesses is somewhere in the region of 20 trillion USD.
So let's go there and try to build things that are compliant, and we can tap into these $330 trillion.
Based on our data, there's $8 trillion to $12 trillion in AUM positioned by private, high net worth, ultra high net worth, and affluent individuals to move into private investments of tokenized private assets. 8 to 12 trillion dollars will be the mechanism by which the next level of development of this technology ecosystem is monetized, the deficiencies are addressed, new capabilities are introduced, and the evolution of the tech stack and the re-expression of the financial market infrastructure will be realized.
If we think about the opportunity, how we get to beyond the 1 trillion, I would start with private asset space is a $290 trillion market around the world. That's bigger than publicly traded securities.
And most of that digitization we think will happen on blockchain. So we see what people loosely refer to as cryptocurrencies as sort of, to your point, Jana, the first step in the evolution. But we expect, frankly, that all different types of assets will be quote unquote tokenized, by which we mean digital representations of those assets on blockchain will become a real thing.
All right, so earlier you heard one of those gentlemen talk about AUM. You may not understand what AUM is. I'll just give you the brief thing. AUM basically means assets under management. And for the example that was used on the outline, it basically refers to the total market value of investments that an advisor or investment management firm, real estate, for instance, developer, fund, or other entity that manages an invested capital, and how they handle on behalf of just that, investor, those investments on behalf of customers or clients. Some people will ask, well, is AUM a good thing or a bad thing? Well, you have to keep in mind the impact of that. And basically the size of an AUM does not necessarily indicate a fund's performance. On the other hand, it is important to note that high assets under management do not necessarily translate into higher returns. The fund's performance is obviously largely determined by the skill of the portfolio manager. Hence why I always mention with you guys, make sure you have some portfolio management software, even if it's a free one, because if you don't, you could get wrecked. You might be asleep, for crying out loud, or just didn't pay attention to the market. And then things go to all-time highs and then you miss out. All right. Same could be applied when it comes to AUM. All right. We're going to kick it back to the comments for a brief bit. And then after that, we're going to get into this next part, which is the Jasmy coverage of the night. And after that will be Q&T. And those will be the last two we'll have for you guys tonight. Okay. 22 new comments. Let's see what you guys have. So we have Nato Kinsey from Dan Armin. It's a protein enzyme. Okay, cool. Mohib Limited. Hi, Max. All in now. I hold 16 million Jasmy. My God. Hello. Is it your Jasmy we're looking for? Lionel Richie. My goodness. Wow. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. My God. Let me see here for a second. So 16 million at Jazz. I gotta pull something like this up for a second. Let's see here for a second. Jeez. Yeah, that's well, I mean, with basic math, right? I mean, 16 million. If you had to just go to a penny, right? That's 160,000 just off Jasmy. Obviously, you're looking to become a millionaire or so on. But you can share what your goals are of, if you want, of where you want that to go. What price level are you going to be taking profits at? Because when you have 16 million of anything, I mean, especially Jasmy, it just takes the pressure off you to get to certain price levels. But for me, like, my goal was to get like 3 million Jasmy, and then I sell like a chunk, a bag at a time, like $1 million per time. Like 1 million at $1, second bag maybe at like $5, third bag, $10 or higher. That's just me, not financial advice. You can share what your plan is if you want. If you don't want to share that, I understand. Interesting. Very, wow. That's go bold or go home. My God. Props to you, man. Awesome. Obviously, you feel as though that Jasmy not the scam, right? Yeah. All right. Let's also welcome Crypto Homes 777. Glad to have you here tonight, man. Good to see you. Speaking of Mr. Not the Scam, he's still here tonight. That's good stuff. I don't know if this is a troll question, but thank you very much. Not to say you're a troll. I'll welcome you, though. Mr. 23F2 3F2. All right, let's read this from Crypto Mike. They all aiming for 700 trillion. Catch 5% of that. That's a, God, what is that? 999,000x. I mean, is anybody complaining about that? And are you ever going to get that from the traditional finance sector? No. Are you going to get that from traditional stocks? Probably not. Take the hint. This is a million X. Yeah, I agree. That's crazy. I still think Casper is huge as well. Just not, I haven't hit my goals for Casper. Per 23F2 30 or 3F2 rug pull scams, FTX, crypto winner. They were all weapons to get retail out before the boom. I would agree with that. All right, Mr. Sinister, amazing work, bro. Hopefully your dad is doing better. Is your car fixed? He's slowly getting better. It's going to be a long process. You know, he's got to do like speech therapy. He's got to do physical therapy, and he has to do like another. Apparently, has to do like a minor surgery. It's about halfway. I still got to get a. Well, we weren't able to get the oil because yesterday the whole thing with the brakes took just about all day. But yeah, I still have an oil leak. But for the most part, at least I can still try it around. I just don't want to keep putting oil through the car. You know, obviously that can start to add up. But looking to get that taken care of. Hopefully tomorrow. It's just today. Yeah, yesterday was a really long day, and so today was kind of like just trying to, I don't know, take care of some other things other than that. But looking to probably do it tomorrow. We'll see. Latest Monday. Anyway, I do need to get taken care of soon because I want to be able to, like, who doesn't want to have a car to get around town? Especially in Phoenix. Public transportation here sucks. One thing I do miss about living in Portland, Oregon, you don't even need a car. You can shoot, man. Like anywhere you live, it's like 10 to 15 minutes. If you live downtown, it's like 2 minutes as far as that goes. But I don't know, Portland's gone downhill. But anyway, 23F2 3F2, the House of Lords in England. A lot of people connected to them were involved in scams. All right, let's welcome back. Yeah, Mr. Sinister, Mighty Crypto. Welcome, welcome. What does that say, Mighty Crypto? That's a cool looking avatar. I like that. Sometimes people take breaks, man. You know, that's understandable. All right, let's go further down. Let's welcome Mr. Michael Montclair and the lovely Zara. Glad to have you here, Mr. Michael Montclair. I've seen your video on RNT and Jasmy. Do you think there may be partnerships, especially since I seen something recently saying Rencom Network is likely to expand into Japan? So I need to shop up the video. I think you're referring to the live broadcast, and thank you for watching that. I think that, you know, we need to get a little bit more confirmation in regards to that, but there's a lot of indicators that point towards that. RNT with Jasmy simply makes sense to me because we know that RNT's utility would pair well with what Jasmy's trying to do. And then, yeah, the whole thing expands into Japan. I mean, you know, as you guys would say, if it, you know, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and all that, right? It's a duck. But, you know, we'd like a little bit more of that confirmation. But at the same time, we look at the whole thing in regards to what? We need some, you know, confirmation and so on. Maybe, I should say at the same time, the NDAs, right? There's always NDAs. That's holy Jasmy. Let's pull up what's going on with Jasmy for a second. So let me pull up my watch list. I don't know if it's really doing much, but yeah, I mean, you know, It's now at 18%. One time it was like 21, 22% for the week. It's slightly up on the 1 hour chart. But, you know, it's still a buy. I mean, let's be honest, guys. 0.003727. That means that you can You can buy about 100,000 of these for $372.70, excluding fees, right? Yeah. Really hoarse tonight. All right, let's read a few more comments. Let's see here. Michael Montclair, pulled my neck at work. LOL. How's that an LOL? That doesn't sound fun. All right, let's see here. Mighty Crypto, do you think we can see Jasmy reach $50 to $100 one day for Jasmy, even if it's in the future? Man, that'd be way out in the future. I mean, I did one video. I said 2030, we could see, I think it was like $60. And there was an article that references that. You know, some people don't want to wait to 2030. I mean, maybe you keep a bag for it during that time. The way I look at it is they accomplished the whole thing of Society 5.0. Why wouldn't Jasmy be around for that time? It wouldn't make sense that Jasmy would go through all the trouble to create all this stuff for this brand new Society 5.0, especially in Japan with the smart cities and so on. Just to tank their, you know, the value of the token, or in this case, I guess a coin in the future when they have their own blockchain, token coin. I don't know. But 100, man, that's tough. I think it is possible in regards to 60, maybe during that time. That's a long wait. Most people are not willing to wait that long. But I do think anything is possible. And how about this? They have been sticking to the roadmap. You know, some people don't like the idea of them, you know, they call it a V2 and so on. It's like at the same time, what people don't like scalability, apparently that's the thing. I like scalability, and I want them to accomplish the bigger picture. But I do have to be real, and I don't think most people, even Jasmy holders, no offense, I just don't think most of us are going to hold to 2030. But for those who do, then awesome. I mean, who was it earlier? Mohib, you know, saying, was it 16 million Jasmy? For somebody like Mohib, I would keep a portion of that for 2030. That would make sense, or beyond that. Not financial advice. I'm just saying for me personally. But that's, if we're talking about Mike Cornwell was reporting $700 trillion or more flown into this space. It sounds crazy now, but in the future, you never know. You never know. I would definitely have some kind of plan, make a spreadsheet, something like that, about what you think it could go to in the future. But a lot of people will be pulling profits at $1. Let's just be honest about that. Just like XRP and so on, people will be taking profits at, you know, $1, $10, you know, so on. I'm not doing that, but that's just me. All right. I'm going to read a few more comments. Venture Empathetic. Do you pull up charts for projects? Once in a while, yes. I don't really get into too much of the technical side of things. It's not my specialty. And, you know, I don't really BS people on that. At the beginning of tonight's show, we pulled up charts in regards to what's going on with the overall broader picture of things. The 4-year cycle thesis and so on. And, you know, talked about, you know, pullback and so on. You're more than welcome to rewind. You could take a look into it later if you want. All right, let's read a few more comments. I want to welcome, who would be Mike Jones? Yes, welcome back, Mike Jones. Before the ice was on his grill, before his major record deal, couldn't give a. I was here, yeah. I forgot all about that guy in his songs, but with your name, Mike Jones. Good to see you, man. You know, do you hang out with you know, the Iceman Pow Wow, who's got a grill that looks like a crystal bowl? You know how they talk, anyway. Stopping by to show some love from the Vegas Inu community. Ah, that's right, Vegas Inu. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, welcome. Welcome back to Mike Jones. All right, High Rollers VIT. Nice. All right, let's see here. Casper inflation is rotten. You don't like the tokenomics on that? I understand. Stop the shot. Why not live it up? Welcome. Portland is a death trap now, I'm sure. I want to live directly in Portland, but some of the outskirts ain't too bad. Yeah, I agree. It's the restaurants there are some of the best. Yeah, that's one thing I do miss about Portland. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Why not live it up? Why not live it up, right? Why not? All right, let's read like maybe 3 or 4 more comments. I'm sorry. The whole world is in so much debt, you need to raise it somehow. And that's why we talk about with Ripple's XRP, taking on that debt, on-demand liquidity. Your dad 2 strokes so far. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That must, yeah, you lived it. You've been there. You've done that, right? It's never a pretty thing. Yeah, no, I get that. I wouldn't be moving there for the politics. I mean, the way I look at it, it's home. You know, I try not to get too deep into some of that stuff. Patience is your worst fear. Sounds like Yoda. Patience is my worst fear. Crypto is the therapy. Sorry, I had to do that. Vegas Inu token, all the way. Lucky 7s. There you go. All right. How about like 2 more? 2 more, and that's it. Love vibe. Blessings to everyone. Vegas Inu high rollers. Thank you very much. And we'll read this from Jack. Got 1 million for those Mr. Montclairs. Interesting. All right, we're going to get into the Jasmy segment of the night. If Jasmy is your thing, please smash the like. We are currently at 63 likes. And I see a super chat came through. So what is that all about? Let me see. Is it a super chat we're looking for? Lionel Richie. Can you pull up Vegas Inu? Well, for $99.99, I would definitely hope so. Normally we don't cover meme tokens, but you know, hey, I'm not gonna disrespect you like that, right? I'll pull it up for it. Yeah, let's get into that for a second. Thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. And we will pull it up. You can be bought, Max. Well, I'm not going to be a stickler and be like, no, utility all the way. No way. No, you know what I mean? No, I could do that. All right, let me pull it up for a second. Hold on a second. I apologize if I'm sounding kind of hoarse today because, I don't know, maybe it's a change in the weather. And it's finally starting to cool down in Phoenix. It only took forever. Vegas. All right, just a second. I'll have to pull it up from a different site. All right. Vegas Inu. Shout out to Space Chick Crypto, who always covers this. Pull up from Dex Tools. I'm sorry. If it will ever load up. What's up with Dex Tools? Why are being so slow? All right. Vegas Inu. Why isn't this pulling up? Well, that's strange. I found you guys. I found the right one. All right, this is VIT. My bad. My bad. Let's pull it up on this other chart as well. VIT. I think that's what it is. Now it's not coming up over there either. Let's pull it up another way. Interesting. All right, so what we're going to do then is we're going to pull it up right on Dex Tools. Let me share it. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, you are the pairing with Rat BNB, correct? And you're up 9.9% in 24 hours. You have, so please let me know if this is the right one. I think it is because, I mean, it matches your avatar. I'll check the comments real quick. Let me see. Let me get further down. I just want to double check because I don't want to highlight something that's not the right thing, right? So we got Essence. He says he loves the VIT Vegas Inu token community. Mike Jones, what's this? SO to December DeMarco for being an awesome dev. Yeah, he's pretty active in that. Not Nonya. High Roller Family showing love. Vegas, Viva Las Vegas. Yes. Mike Jones. Yes. All right, cool. Just trying to make sure. I just, you know how that works sometimes. Some things look similar. All right, awesome. All right, so yeah, let's highlight this for you. And again, thank you so much for the $99.99 super chat. I'll put a heart on that. Thank you very much. And let's get into this for a second. So, as you guys see here, you do see that Mr. Mike Jones is saying that this is the right one. And we'll just go ahead and bookmark that. So on here, this is straight from Dex Tools. You can look it up yourself. Go to dextools.io. If you're looking for the ticker symbol, it is, in fact, VIT. VIT as in Vegas Inu token. They do have a wrap BNB pairing, so that's cool. I mean, you guys know that you're going to save a heck of a lot more on fees because, you're not going with the whole Ethereum thing. And the chart's looking pretty good. We do see currently that Vegas Inu token. I believe these are verified market caps. It's not like how CMC does it. So again, you can let us know in the comments, but it says here on Dex Tools that you have a verified market cap of 1.63 million. You have liquidity that's locked up of 150,000. Total supply is 997 billion. Currently only 459 holders. So obviously there's a lot of growth there, which is cool. According to this chart for the last 24 hours, there's way more buys than sells, if you're wondering about that. They have a 94 out of 99 DEX score. Contract is verified according to the, I guess you could say, the audit system that DEX Tools use. There is no honeypot. There's a 12% buy tax. There's a 11.91% sell tax. Community trust, you have no negative votes. That's a good thing. So cool. Very cool. And this tells me just on the surface, without getting more into it, because of BNB, that you could easily use this on a trust wallet. All right. So that's your thing. Maybe load up your trust wallet. Take a look into it. Let me see if I could pull up a contract for you guys. All right. Let's see. Copy this address. Give me a second. I want to look into a little bit more about what this is about. All right, so it is pulling up. Let's get this to load up. This thing is not loading up. Okay. Well. All right, so the rating on Dex Tools is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. There are some check audits alerts here. I guess the main thing is from Token Sniffer. Like we always say, guys, do more of your own research. There might be reasons for some of this stuff. And in regards to Token Sniffer, let's pull that up for a second. So this is the only alarming thing. This is not me flooding it or anything like that, but you do have a score of 5 out of 100. The source does not contain a fee modifier. The source code contains a function which can modify the transaction fee. Ownership is not renounced. I mean, there's reasons for that. I mean, it's only been around for a month, right? Like it says, there can be legitimate reasons for not renouncing ownership. Check with the project team for such information. Now, we know that some of these guys who are here tonight, they may very well be with the project team. So since you guys are here, if you don't mind sharing that, We'd like to hear from you in regards to that. On the holder analysis, the owner creator wallet contains less than 5% of the circulating supply, 70.21%. The owner wallet contains a substantial amount of tokens, which could have a large impact on the token prices sold. What about all other holders? Do they possess less than 5%? Yes, they do. Liquidity analysis, we talked about that earlier. And this is in regards to BNB. So there is adequate current liquidity. How about the adequate initial liquidity? I mean, according to DEX tools, there's that. So we're not going to say that's the end all be all in regards to token sniffer. There's a low amount of liquidity that was deposited after the token creation, which may indicate low quality token. I don't know. Again, I don't have enough time to verify this on the surface. There's at least 95% of liquidity burn locked for at least 15 days. 7.99% have been burned. There's 91.97% in pin lock until November 7th, which is, I don't know, what is that, roughly a week from now? No. A week and a half from now. Like it says, lock ignored, expires soon. So we'll have to double check on that in the future. Let's see. So non-left liquidity secured for the minimum duration could allow for significant amounts to be moved. Not saying it's a rug pull. This test only checks well-known lockers. Right. It's just token sniffer, not the end all be all. And then they do check mark. They check out on this. Owner creator wallet contains less than 5% of the liquidity. So there's that. Not a great score from Token Sniffer, but we could get more into this. Let's see here. Let's see. Do you guys have a current site we could pull up and then pull up some information in regards to all this? All right. So let's see what we have. I'll just do a search. See if I can pull that up. So we got Vegas Inu token. And let me see if I can pull it up from, man. Let me see if I can pull that up from Google or something like that. So let's see, website. Maybe you guys are just on Twitter. I'm sure you guys are on X. Let me pull that up. All right, so you guys do have a Twitter. Let's pull up your Twitter. VIT Vegas Inu token, vegasinitoken.com. All right. It says that you can hold, win, and play in the next era of meme coins. Don't miss out. Currently 947 followers. I mean, it's new, guys, so it takes time. Okay. Here's your winner from yesterday. Only 1 hour ago. So they pinned this 1 hour ago. So let's read this. Let's pull this up. They have a winner from yesterday's VIT buy competition, 10/27/23 Vegas Inu buy competition. Next round has started. Any buys from today count. For the next 18 days, Vegas Inu will be giving out $100 worth of VIT per day to a random buyer. Interesting. You heard that right. All you have to do is make a purchase of VIT and post screenshots below to post for a chance to win in regards to this. Okay, that's interesting. Let's go. Interesting. All right, let me go to the back page. I want to pull up your site. So let's go to vegasinitoken.com. Here's their actual site. And on their site, showing how you can connect the wallet. Welcome to the heart of crypto revolution. Explore the future of meme coins with Vegas Inu. Hold the key to the ultimate crypto experience. Join their journey of exhilaration, community, and AI. Get ready to hold, win big with Vegas Inu. Next era of meme coin starts here. Strong marketing, 7% liquidity, 3% reflections to holders. Okay. That's it. There's no... All right. Well, maybe because it's new. I don't know. I don't see a roadmap. I don't see a light paper. I don't see a white paper. All right. Well, thank you for sharing this with us. If you guys choose to look more into Vegas Inu, you're more than welcome to do so. And we do thank the team for stopping by today. And thank you so much for the $99.99 super chat. As always, do more of your own research if you can, guys. If there might be more information that I'm not aware of, and maybe these guys will share some of that. Like anything, do your own diligence when it comes to this. All right. They also have a Telegram as well, and I'm sure you can ask some questions over there. All right. I'm going to stop the share, kick it back to what we have. Okay. So we have some comments to get back into. Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, let's see here. What news do we have about this token, or is it another Saitama? I don't know the answers to that, but I'm sure they can give you the answers. December DeMarco, YouTuber is the dev. He knows what's up. Strong community, growing stronger every day. We are everyday mini our SHIB army. Okay, I've been in SHIB for a very long time. SHIB and Volt. Dan Armin, scam like the rest. Boomer F sooner, scam. Z, lol. All right, T Lens, one person has 70%. I mean, okay, guys, just pointing some things out. All right, check the holders max. I did. I shared that. All right, Josh M says VIT is legit. Air Jordan, yo, welcome back. I love the Air Jordan avatar. It's a little bit different. All right, 70% wallet still hasn't been broken down yet. Okay. Sinbag Super Docs, he's not gonna do anything with LP. Okay. Well, might want to consider showing that on the website because we don't see that right now, but I get it. It's only been around for a month or so. All right, let's see here. Hey Dan, I'm not paid. Boomer F sooner. Never trust a ish token when a bunch of pampers jump in and shill. Oh jeez. All right, that's a back and forth conversation with you guys, so I'm not going to get into that right now anymore. All right, let's see here. I'm going to get. Yeah, teach his own. Right, I do this because I want. Nobody pays me. All right, see you on the ride up. It's all heart, Maximus. Well, thank you. I do appreciate the donations. All right, let's see here. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Possibly, I don't know. It's hard to say. All right, let's read this from Crypto Health or Jack Thompson. Perfect health and crypto wealth to everyone. Yes, indeed. All right, we're gonna now get into the coverage that we have in regards to Jasmy. It's not a lot, but it's good stuff. I want to bring a new thing to your attention. I feel as though it's definitely worth pointing out. Get this cord out of the way. All right, so we're going to pull up the branding, and it is this right here. All right, and let me pull up my other brand for my Twitter. Okay, so like it says, here's some direct proof. This comes from NeoX Tricks of the Daewabo Jasmy relationship. So Jasmy is a manufacturer for Daewabo, among so many other companies. But basically, imagine it's confidential, so we won't know more, right? The whole thing like NDAs and so on, right? The key thing is it does mention Jasmy. You can look more into it yourself. How so? Well, when you go over to pc-daewabo.co/JP in the business section, they have all sorts of other businesses listed here. And I'm going to blow this up just that much more, even though you see it. This is some good stuff that, I feel as though it's like, why not get into more of this? So let me get out of some of these other tabs. Yeah, let's pull this up instead. All right, so you see here, list of handling manufacturers. This is straight from the site, right? Look at all this stuff that's tagged here. Thermos, science art, science park. All this stuff seems like, society 5.0, right? Smart cities, all that stuff. You get more into this. Japan material, media system. Boom, Jasmy. So why would some company like this list Jasmy? Well, that's a good question. We're going to jump more into this. So I want to share some of this with you. I'm going to interpret some of this from Japanese to English. Here it is from this guy. His name is Hyde Para 7. I guess we are following each other, so that's cool. He posts all this in Japanese, but here's the interpretation. Now, if you're wondering about Daiwabu, it says that they are basically fighting together with Jasmy because its corporate philosophy is in line with Jasmy. That's a good thing. AI collects data on personal sensations such as material they feel as though, in comfort, in addition to the systems that visualize the efficiency of materials and processing using data. We are seeking and implementing the secure use of blockchain as a company that manages the personal data of course, employees and customers. Well, that right there, guys, let's just be honest about it. That's Jasmy all the way. So it simply makes sense that they would team up with Jasmy, especially where they're located in Japan. I want to take you to the Daiwabu, or Wabo, I don't know how to pronounce it, site. So here it is. And like I said, spinning new life. We will continue to pursue the realization of sustainable society. Again, society 5.0. It's funny how Jasmy knows who to team up with, right? By creating new value using our 80 years of technological and development capabilities in the fiber business. Interesting. So this is not some flash in the pan new company. This is a company that's been around for quite a while. So I like that. I like the idea that we see that. That is cool. Why wouldn't some company like this not recognize somebody like Jasmy who's getting with the picture of the new Society 5.0 and all that stuff? Let's pull up a little bit more about this. About Daiwabu, they're a textile manufacturer that continues to challenge the unknown potential of fibers and change the future of life. Some of the business that they're into, like it says, textiles, non-woven fabric, synthetic fiber business, industrial materials. That's a big industry. Clothing. Yeah, research and development. Obviously, we're developing functional and sustainable materials through the application development of core technologies and joint research with collaborations between industry, government, and academia. Or even like with what Jasmy is providing to the table in regards to the Internet of Things. Sustainability. They're developing a variety of initiatives to reduce their environmental impact and activities involving research, development, raw material, procurement, manufacturing, and more. Think of everything that Jasmy is tied to when it comes to manufacturing and the Internet of Things. There's more company information. Obviously, you can look more into it. But I thought it was a big deal, and I'm going to show you a little bit more in regards to this. I got this area about the research and development. I thought I would just get to this part for a second. Their aim, like it says, is to realize a sustainable society by developing original materials based on, and look at this, guys, ESG management and research themes that lead to achieving the SDGs. We're accelerating research and development centered on ESG management and research themes aimed at achieving SDGs with the goal of deepening their textiles strategy, original materials, processing, all this stuff, right? Is it environmentally friendly? Yes. Do they have products that they're developing and materials that are going to contribute to environmental conservation, water, all that stuff? Yes. Air purification, energy saving materials. Again, all these things lead to the whole thing of Society 5.0. So it's nice that you see a company like this that's been around for 80 plus years embrace Jasmy, right? Do they have some kind of framework in regards to all this? Yeah, absolutely. How about this? R&D functions scattered across synthetic fibers, industrial materials, textiles. Think about all this stuff to produce like a water purification and clean energy. We saw the whole thing with Jasmy when it comes to the rice crop consortium, right? That's a big deal. Disaster prevention, flame retardancy. Well, what a name. Ground concrete, all this stuff, safety, health, environment. It's all there. So my thing is this, right? For somebody like yourself who's like, well, that sounds cool. Why is that such a big deal? Well, how about this? Moreover, and of course, some of my own notes. It's like, why does this partnership, if you want to call it partnership, between Jasmy and Dai Wabu, well, why does it matter so much? Well, for one, they have announced a partnership to develop and implement a blockchain-based data sharing platform. Huh. Isn't Jasmy trying to go to this layer 2? Yeah, they are. The platform itself will allow businesses to share data. Oh, that's the Jasmy plug. Yeah, you better believe it is. Securely and efficiently while also maintaining control over their own data. Okay, that's Jasmy. This is a significant partnership, I would agree. It brings together two leading companies in their respective fields. Right. But both kind of pair well with each other on the surface. Jasmy, as we know, is a Japanese blockchain company developing a data marketplace. Don't ever forget that. The decentralized data marketplace, industry disturber of the main ones, GAFA, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple. Allows users to buy and sell data. Awesome. We are finally getting something together in regards to do just that. Buy and sell data means monetization. Are you now starting to see how this kind of comes together? Again, this is just some of my own notes and so on. The company's goal in regards to Daiwabu is to create a more transparent and efficient data economy. Daiwabu is a Japanese paper and packaging company, right? They're one of the largest, if you didn't know about that, in regards to manufacturing in the world, in regards to paper, but clean energy paper. You ever, as a kid, go on a field trip to some of these places and it just stinks to high heaven? And if anything, it's like polluting the environment. The company is looking to use blockchain tech to improve the efficiency of its supply chain and reduce costs. Hence, Jasmy. It's a beautiful thing. All right, what about this partnership between Jasmy and Daiwabu, if I'm pronouncing that right? Well, it's significant for numerous reasons, like we showed you on that particular site. But more importantly, you have to keep in mind that it shows that there's this whole thing of blockchain tech and how it's being adopted in major companies. For instance, Japan, definitely Japan. It's a positive sign for the whole blockchain industry as a whole. Secondly, this particular partnership is likely to lead to the development of new and innovative blockchain-based applications. Yeah. Is that such a bad thing? We talk about the smart wallet, all those particular, applications, these, the pathway forward for dApps, data sharing platform that these two companies are developing has the potential to revolutionize the way businesses are sharing data. Now, just on the surface, there's about 4 main points I want to get into before we kick it into the next part of our outline. Jasmy and Daiwabu partnership is expected to bring the following. Number 1, increased efficiency. Basically, the blockchain-based data sharing platform will allow businesses to share data more efficiently, and of course, it's going to significantly reduce costs, which means more savings. How about improved security? That's always the main thing, right? Some people say that, especially Sean the Crypto Smith, you have to have security before you have utility. I would agree with that. The blockchain-based data sharing platform will allow businesses to share data more securely, which can help protect sensitive data from unauthorized access. Again, what's the point of having protection of your data if it's actually being shared to other third parties? Can't have that. How about increased transparency? Yeah. Blockchain-based data platform sharing will allow businesses, or in this case, these main two, to track the flow of data more easily, which can increase to the transparency and accountability. Say what you want, but even those, this has to do with like textiles and water conservation and all these things. That's all data. It has to be all tracked efficiently. What about some of the new business opportunities in regards to this? Well, the blockchain-based data sharing platform could lead to the development of new business opportunities, such as the creation of new data-driven products and just that services. Overall, the Jasmy Dyor partnership is a significant development, of course, for the blockchain industry. And is that such a bad thing? No, it's not. It shows that blockchain tech is being adopted by major companies in Japan, and that is the key thing for you being a Jasmy holder. You want to see these things come into fruition every single time you can. It's going to lead to the likelihood of development of new and innovative blockchain-based applications. So when we say watch out for the dApps by the end of 2023 going into 2024, this is another reason why you want to pay attention to all of this. This whole thing of Daiwabu, if I'm pronouncing that right, I feel as though is very, very significant. How significant will it be when it comes to potentially monetizing Jasmy or your data or other people's data in Japan? It's a big game changer. I'm glad that NeoXTrix is paying attention to it, and hopefully you're paying attention to it as well. That will conclude our short segment tonight in regards to Jasmy. The last segment of the night is going to be Q&T, and it's going to be one of our main highlights of the night. Thank you guys for being here. Let me go ahead and close out the avatar for that. I'll read a few more comments, and then after that, we will get into the Q&T segment. It's pretty big. It has to do with Google. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy. Why don't you start it off from the beginning? Well, there's other things I want to talk to you about. You know, sorry to say it, but Elon Musk kind of takes the cake when it comes to the headliners. All right, let's kick it into the comments one more time. Let's see where I was last at before things kind of went crazy. All right, let's see here. Yes. Let me double check the other screen, see that we're good. We are good. I want to welcome ADHD. Welcome back, man. Glad to have you. All right. So let's see here. 23 F2, 3 F2. I always try to buy low and sell high on meme coins, but of course there's no utility, but it's gamble. All right. Let's see here. I imagine you could get it on, you know, Trust Wallet, doing a swap, for instance. To my interpretation, I don't have my phone real close to me, unfortunately. I don't know why I didn't bring it in here, but we'll be able to load up the app. You could look into it yourself. But you know, it makes sense that you would be able to use like the Trust Wallet and do that pairing, right? Load up the contract, do the pairing with BNB, and then just go about that way. Yeah, Pancake Swap. Literally, that's a dApp built into Trust Wallet, so you don't have to download. What do you call it? You don't have to download Pancake Swap because it's built into your Trust Wallet. Yeah. All right, let's read this. J is the 10th letter, and Satan 10. So Jasmy might be good. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's read this from Jack Thompson. I would hope when we are wealthy, we first help each other in a community. Thank you, man. All right, let's see here. All right. You guys are having that conversation between yourselves. I'll read this. Venture empathetic. I just wanted Maximus to pull up the chart, but I'll be respectful. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Be respectful to the mods and sub. All right. Well, thank you. Let's see here. What is this? Attention. Rest in peace, Chandler from the show Friends. Apparently he had an accident, drowned. RAP. Kiss your loved ones. Family, it's a short life. Yeah, I agree. It is definitely short. All right, let's see here. You met the cast of Friends back in 1996. At the time, didn't know any of them except for Courtney Cox. I think you talked about this a while back. You said some of them were kind of like jerks or something. The one and only Jasmy scam, XLM scam, XRP scam, Chainlink scam, Solana scam, ICP scam. I know you're joking, but that's funny. All right. Let's go further down. Let's read this from EZ. Sorry. Yeah, Edward just told me crazy. I didn't even realize he was talking about until he smacked me in the face with his picture. Damn, what a scary way to die. That is scary. Crypto scam. Market cap scam. You guys are funny. All right, Terrell, welcome. Glad to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Jack Thompson says, I just got spanked to my research. Good point. All right. Let's see what else we got up in the hizzle. All right, faux shizzle. What is this? I turned my sexy face away from the phone for a few and was listening. What errors and wipes away everything? The F. I don't know what happened, my friend, but glad to see you, Mr. Blackwood. Blackwood and Inglewood. No, I'm kidding. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, good to see you again, Mr. ADHD. Boom, boom. QNT has been bullish lately. It has, man. Think about this, guys. It went from $85 to like, what was it, 106? Like in a week, you know? I mean, hopefully people took advantage of it. But can you imagine how many people got fudded out of Quant? I saw a guy, I won't mention his name, but he was on Crypto X, and he was just like, oh, yeah, QNT is going to zero. I was like, you got to be kidding. Like, I couldn't. Some of these guys just can't take for real. What's his name? Also, nothing against Banfield, you know. Honestly, I don't really go after influencers, but I'll never forget him saying that, you know, he doesn't like Quant because it's just another ERC20 token. Give me a break. You know, it's not just another ERC20 token. It's literally a blockchain operating system, the blockchain operating system. You think the Bank of International Settlements and the Bank of England, was it RLN Network, Citi, JP Morgan, all that are going to get involved in something that's just another ERC20 token? No, they're not. All right, let's see here. We're going to read maybe like a couple more comments, right? I don't know, maybe 5. Who knows? Let's thank Terrell, $10 super chat. Do you have any thoughts on GFAL, our girlfriend that's part of the American League? Well, if your girlfriend's part of the American League, she needs to switch. Start rooting for the National League. Diamondbacks all the way. I'm kidding. I don't know what GFAL is, to be honest. I don't know if I have any thoughts. Let me pull it up on gosh, sorry guys. Tonight it's like a constant crypto Hulk impersonation. GFAL, rank 451, gains for a living. Maybe this is what you're talking about. GFAL. How long has this been around? Well, they have 10 billion in supply. Does that have confirmed market cap? It does. 38 million. Ranked 452. All-time lows was not that long ago, back in April. 0.004357. Oh God. Dang it, Terrell. Why can't you let me know about this back in April? I would be up 655%. I'm kidding, man. So all-time highs was, oh man, 3 days ago. No wonder you're talking about this, man. Oh, there's so many things to get into that we don't know about, right? Oh man, look at that, guys. Can you imagine getting into this? So let's just pull this up for a second. I mean, I'm not going to do a super deep dive on it, but let's just say this, right? So let's say you're a person that's lucky and you're like, I believe in this. I believe in games for a living. I'm a gamer. I never want to go out and touch a boob ever. I just want to game 24/7, 365, and I want to do games for a living, right? And then basically speaking, you know, you're like, yeah, all-time lows. Let's go, baby. 0.004357. You're like, yeah, this is the bottom. I rock. Nobody hearing what you're saying, right? Then you go like, you know what? I'm going to buy, you know what? Go hard or go home. I'm going to, you know, this is a little bit more than a Jasmy token. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to buy 1 million of these things. So then you buy 1 million of these things. You're like, go hard, go home. $4,357 plus the fee. All right. Now hear me out. Let's pull this back up again. 1 million of these things. All right. Times what? The all-time high was literally 3 days ago. So 0.0357. 581, and you have a profit of 35,810, which is not going to be life-changing income. But at the height of the bull run, ooh, what is that about? So you have caught my interest, my friend Terrell. We will talk about this for a second before we kick it into the Q&T. Oh, shame on Terrell. I don't have much time to stick around here on a Saturday night, Max. I showed it for the Q&T. This guy derailed the whole show. No, he didn't. Just hear me out. We're not going to get to a super big deep dive, but we're going to find out what the heck this is about. So, for one, it's on PancakeSwap. You can get on XC, BitGet, Ishmart, all sorts of stuff, right? So that's kind of cool. What the heck is this? Is there about section about games for living? Well, yes, there is. What is games for living? Well, Games for Living is a Web3 gaming platform that aims to revolutionize the gaming industry by releasing a first sustainable blockchain game with its first title. Nice! Because I've been talking about this. So you sparked my interest, my friend Terrell, because I stated in the future when I make my own game, and by the way, me and Will Fix, we're going to team together in the future. Yeah, there's things that we want to do together. And I said, I felt as though that with Hedera would be like a real true anti-cheat solution for AAA games in the future. Well, it's not going to be just, for AAA games. I'm sure there'll be other ones, right? Maybe some of the lower budget ones. But I do think it's going to be a real thing. So this catches my eye because I do like how it says revolutionizing the gaming industry by releasing this first sustainable blockchain game with its first title, Elemental Raiders. That sparks my interest. I kind of want to know what that's about. But the platform adds two subsequent first-party titles, Diamond Dreams, frictionless login. That sounds like Quant. Oh, Max is getting into the Quant. Not exactly. Wallet integration, payments. There's a portal, marketplace, analytic tools. Interesting. So what is GFAL itself? Native cryptocurrency utility token on all the games on the platform. The token is designed to be a bridging asset in operations kinds within the ecosystem. One of the primary uses of GFAL is in-game on the marketplace. Users need GFAL to mint game assets into NFTs, purchase exclusive assets, trade. Right. Basically, this will be the native token that will be used in the games. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, without reading all this, right? Who are the founders? Well, Games for Living was founded in 2021 by former FVP and GM at King Barcelona Studio, Trip Hawkins. He's a former CEO for both EA. Wow. So here's your AAA. You really sparked my interest, Terrell. Digital Chocolate. That sounds like the name of that band that performed in the movie Coming to America. What was the name? Something Chocolate. Anyway, Javier Leon, art director, Emmy Award nominee Christian Gascons. I mean, there's a big all-star team. How about this other one? Blizzard Entertainment, Carlos Blanco. So a lot of AAA guys here. That sounds cool. Both entrepreneurial leaders in the new technologies with numerous achievements backing their expertise. The management team alone has combined experience of 140 years, I like how they do it, in building and growing video game startups. Awesome. All right, what makes this thing unique? Basically, it's their approach to Web3, resolving current issues, focusing on quality, accessibility, reach, developing games, Web3 features that provide frictionless access, usability, free-to-play, cross-platform, localized gaming experiences. They leverage blockchain tech to enable enhanced experiences, verifiable proof of ownership, asset trading, create new opportunities for social interaction. Okay, they also aim to add value to existing game models without forcing conventional games to adopt to Web3 mechanics, using emerging technologies to enhance performance, keeping things fun. Right, good. Keep it fun. Don't make something that's boring that no one's going to use because you know how that works. So that's cool. And we're not even in the height of a bull run. So somebody who came in basically April 13th and bought this up, right, is doing well. I mean, who's complaining about $30,000 worth of profit? I mean, if a person did that, somebody will say, well, Max, let's be real. Somebody probably, instead of $4,357, what about $435.70? Okay, then that means he's at a profit of what? Roughly, like, was that 3,500? Is that such a bad thing? I don't think so. So there's that example. You know, I want to go to the Twitter real quick before we wrap this up. So let's take it to the Twitter. Here's their Twitter. I might give them a follow, believe it or not, because you caught my interest on this one. It's a video game company, like it says, 53,000 followers. So cool. Just real quick, how long have they been around? Well, let's see here. Let's get into this. They have been around since, at least on CMC. So they've been around since earlier this year. That makes sense. But look at this, guys. You want to talk about healthy chart? Hey, this is a great example. You know, chief are not the scam. Look at this. Is that not a healthy chart? Look at that, guys. That's one of the best looking charts in crypto right now. Let's just be honest about that. Shout out to Terrell. Showing us something that's not a scam, right? Look at that. 473% all time. 479% on the year. So basically the same thing. So all time 473 on the year. Yeah, it's the same because we haven't had a full year yet. That's tremendous. That's a really healthy chart. Say what you want. Going into this a little bit more. Do they have any recent posts? Yeah, 26, a pinned thing. Pinned, thread, or what do you want to call it? Celebrating another milestone. The journey continues. The saga continues. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. No, I'm kidding. Elemental Raiders, yesterday, I think. Yeah. So this kind of shows what the game looks like to a sense. I don't know if I play the music because I don't want to get copyrighted. Let's rewind. I'll mute it. So just play this for a bit. Looks like some, look at that. I mean, like, you got an RPG feel to it. There's, esports city league. Prize pool, what does that say? Travel expenses and 10,000. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, on the server, I like RPG games. So everything I'm seeing so far is like how they incorporate the native token of GFall. I mean, I guess there's an idea of that. I don't know. They have an active community. I mean, all these things are good. All right, we're going to go to the website real quick, just real quick. We're going to spend a lot more time on this. So let's take you to the website. Let's pull this up. GFall. What is this all about? Reject all. I don't need no cookies. Welcome to Games for a Living. Play for the future. Discover our games. We craft innovative, engaging, and timeless games by using the latest technology. I don't know. I mean, sounds cool. Featured by IGN, Reuters, Forbes, Yahoo Finance, CoinDesk even. We always cite CoinDesk. So just on the surface, this is not a super deep dive. I might chop it up later and do like a, an intro, but there you have it. GFall looks pretty cool. Just on surface, looks pretty cool. Looks like it definitely has some upside potential. Seems like a good quality project. So shout out to you, Mr. Terrell. Those are my thoughts on the surface, right? Because I don't obviously know about it, but just on the surface, man, seems pretty good to me. Thank you, man. All right, let's see here. Almost going 3 hours, so I need to get into this last part of Quant here in a second. Guys, if anyone lives in New York City, I got a sick crypto party you guys can go to. I don't live in New York City, but yeah. Huh. All right. Tim Shea, close to New York, a couple hours away. That'd be interesting, Tim Shea, like if you did a video about it, Live from New York City, it's Tim Shea, and I spray from far away. I get everybody down in New York City hitting the DECK. I blow up stuff so remarkable. Peace to Boomer F sooner. And everybody, that'd be crazy, right? All right. Max, I want to make you a crypto song for the channel. Yeah, you do? Go for it, man. That'd be cool. I mean, but even if you do a weird voice, it's okay with me. You know, like, hi guys, my name is ADHD, and I'm here to say that crypto info is going to be brought to you like every day. Get with Tim Shea, it's the place to be. Z, who wants to be a DPG, get with Jack Thompson, you know, to beat Ramen. If you go to Tim, he's gonna. No, I'm done. All right. Tim Shea, games for a living is GFAL. It is. Let's read a few more comments. ZNP, tell them Z sent you for the party. You won't have to pay the $5,000 to get in. Wait, really? Interesting. Many people think GFAL will take over for. I was about to say that, but I was like, I don't know, because I mean, you know, Gala's mixed in with a lot of things, so I don't know. But if I was a person that was into Gala or Gala, whatever it's called, some people jump ship to other things. Maybe people jump ship to this. Who knows? All right, check our Zier Pay XRP. We might do that at some point. Guy who knows all the XRP people. He's in the CEO. Huge burn by Christmas. That's interesting. All right. Let's read this. Ex-gamer writer. That's right. You're right. You know your movie. That's right. That was funny. Yep, that's right. I knew it was something like that. It was something chocolate. Yep, you guys are spot on. That's good stuff. All right. Blackwood, as long as someone else besides Hostess is making them, I'm all in. Hostess gave up years ago. Laziness, scam. All right. You guys got a lot of good comments, so we're going to go towards the bottom. Let's read this from Z. Boomer, party ends at like 1 a.m. So the party's almost over. So, yeah. Because, you know, it's basically 12:06 p.m. at night over there. All right, we're going to get into the final bit of coverage today. It's going to be in regards to QNT. You know me. And let's just pull this up. All right. So I am going to get into this. You've been saying that for a while, Max. I know I have been saying that for a while. But I'm going to actually do it now. I'm going to do it. All right. This comes from Ledger Insights. And if you wonder who Ledger Insights are, I will show you who they are. Lionel Richie. So, Ledger Insights. Little known fact, Crypto Hulk cites Ledger Insights all the time. How do I know that? I just do a simple Google search with what he hides on the screen. So, yes, if you're wondering, you know, oh, you can't share the link, right? He cites Ledger Insights. If you don't believe me, go back into it. Anyway, just throwing that out there. He cites Ledger Insights probably like 9 times out of 10. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not a big secret. All you guys got to do is just take the presented stuff on the screen and do a Google search, and then you'll see it matches up to what he has, but whatever. All right, enough about that. So Ledger Insights, Google presented Google Pay to what? BIS, the Bank of International Settlements. This is big. Very big. Anything that has to do with Google, the BIS, Quant, I would be paying attention to it. I think you guys want to pay attention to it as well. I know it's getting a little bit late tonight. I think you want to see what this is all about. This was reported yesterday, October 27th. So here it is. What is this? Google Pay to BIS in central banks as a solution for what? Offline CBDCs. We are going there, are we not? Yes, we are. Let's get into the hot topic. So this is straight from Ledger Insights. See how the text is all the same? Anyway. Blockchain for banking. Google pitches offline CBDC to central banks. Interesting. Yesterday, the BIS Innovation Hub published a design guide for offline central bank digital currencies as part of another project, Project Polaris. Ooh, another project. It involves a dozen vendors, presenting their solutions to several central banks. One of them happens to be a provider of, let's face it, Google. Although the BIS document does not discuss Google's offering. Now, it says Google Pay wallets already supporting offline transactions, but both are for card-based payments and in India for UPI payments. This is going to allow a limited number of offline transactions before internet connection is, of course, required. Wow. You know, we talk about with Stellar serving the unbanked, or we talk about on-ramps, off-ramps. Well, what about the BIS? The BIS is getting all over this, but through what? Google. And we already have that plug with, you know, QNT. So I think QNT, obviously with Overledger, is the enabler of this. This is a big, huge thing in my opinion. In India, it's not just about that, you know, customers can be offline, but this supports offline merchants. How many people who are offline who are merchants? Think about it, man. This is game changer stuff. Offline payments are perceived as riskier. They are. Online transactions can be verified and checked for money laundering and double spending, whereas offline ones can't. One option is to secure smart cards similar to prepaid cards for offline CBDC. Another is requiring a smartphone to connect to the internet occasionally. Now, I want to state this. What is one thing we have learned lately? One thing we have learned lately is one of Quant's new products. What is that product, guys? It is Quant's Authorize. So Authorize is going to solve what? The problem here in regards to, is there malicious actors here? Right. Do you not understand or see how beautiful this is going to be, especially if you are a Quant holder? How about this? Google Pay's offline CBDC advantage. Many CBDC solutions will struggle to gain traction by piggybacking on top of Google Pay's larger user base. Central banks reduce the friction of consumer adoption. Oh, really? And we're talking about the BIS, and we're also talking about how the BIS selected Quant Network through Overledger to get this all done. Oh my gosh, so beautiful, so beautiful. Why didn't Max cover this at the very beginning? I don't know. But additionally, because offline CBDC solutions are new, most offerings are not battle tested. True. Hence why we have all this testing. Project Hamilton, Project Icebreaker, Project Rosalind. Now we're into this new project. Do you see how this all comes together? Hopefully you do. If Google integrates with a CBDC, a big chunk of the technology is already proven, making it a low-risk option. That's cool. Because when it comes to Google, we want low risk. Google is not going to get involved with something that is high risk. They have a reputation and they're not going to let that happen. But if you have enablers, which we're going to get into here in a bit, you have to keep in mind it's a big deal. All right. So as the BIS paper highlights, think about this for a second. Each country will have different objectives. For example, in India, some people might not have regular internet access, hence the advantage of an offline CBDC. They already reiterated that. I don't know why they mentioned that twice. But Google Pay is widely used in India and already integrated with UPI, so might be a sensible option there. Oh, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So India, as we know, them and China have the two biggest populations of over 1 billion people easily. You know, China is over 1 billion. I think maybe 1.7 billion. And then we also have India, which is like, 1.3 billion. So when we talk about mass adoption, if you create something like what we're talking about here tonight, that's huge. Absolutely huge. And who doesn't know about Google Pay or Google services at this point? So I do think it's a sensible option. Now, back to the whole topic of offline CBDC for cash-like anonymity. I actually pronounced that right for a change. In contrast, some advanced economies such as Europe are primarily interested in an offline CBDC as digital cash-like option, providing anonymity for smaller transactions, given Google Data's driven business models that might conflict with Europe's offline objectives. Additionally, one of Europe's strategic motivations for the digital euro is to reduce payment reliance on foreign providers such as Visa and MasterCard. Interesting. But what if you have a guy from Quant that literally already has that MasterCard connection because of VocalLink in the past? That's not so bad. So would it be interesting? So would they, be interested in Google Pay? I think so. That depends on whether Google Pay is the only offline CBDC path or one of many. I don't really think it matters all that much, because at the end of the day, we understand where we're going to this new monetary system. Well, what about this new system even involves some of the retail? Well, It's not that it's just one that's going to get the job done, but some of the other key players. Who's one of the key players? The BIS. Who's another key player that everybody knows about? Google. Who's the enabler? Who's the plug? Who's the connect? Quant. Again, it's not hard, guys. It's not rocket science. Look at this. Central banks are also wary of big tech involvement in finance. Regulators block Facebook's DM stablecoin. Remember that. But basically, that was private digital currency perceived as a direct threat to the central bank power. Very true. Unless central banks might be reluctant to rely on technology from, of course, big tech, they naturally are wary of encouraging monopolies or oligopolies, like hence where the term oligarchs come from. Some commercial banks are already too big to fail. I believe that. I think the BIS is too big to fail. So if they're too big to fail and they incorporate this whole thing at Google Pay, again, guys, I mean, how huge is that for Quant? This might be like some of the biggest news ever when it comes to Quant. I mean, it's definitely up there. Central banks don't want to risk that on the technology front. And on the other hand, given all payment systems have network effects, that's almost unavoidable. Very, very true. So, guys, there's more to it than this. And we're going to talk about this because we were talking a lot about the BIS. So check this out. Big shout out to the one and only Quant Papa. Give him a follow over at Quant_Papa_ on X. So when he was sending me this info, Quant Papa was talking about the Secretarium. It says CBDC is the future. In a recent guide published by the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS titled Project Polaris, interesting, high-level design guide for offline payments. Oh, you see what Mr. Quant Papa is doing here? Yeah. We have to address the elephant in the room of offline payments. Secretarium's contributions to this evolving landscape are duly acknowledged. Now, getting more into this, do we have any reference to Quant, the BIS, all this stuff? Well, yes. So getting into this, you will see even Bank of England. Draw your attention to the top left. Project sponsors. Tom Mutton, Director, CBC, Bank of England. You even have, for instance, Project Team, BIS Innovation Hub, London Center with the BIS. So BIS, Bank of England, it's all there. How about API users group in alphabetical order? Actually, before we even get into that, how about this? Vendor team, Quant. Quant Papa, why don't you highlight Quant? It's okay. It's called Quant Papa's Human, Max. Yeah, I know. Shout out to Quant Papa. But the vendor team, plain as day, Quant. Vendor team. API users group. Well, we know how big, Quant is in regards to APIs. So you have Amazon, Bank of Canada, Barclays, Idemia, MasterCard, obviously through, that plug for Gilbert Vereen many years ago with VocalLink. Let's jump over to the right side. The right side, you do have, towards the bottom, Secretarium, Thales. Look what's also highlighted, BIS Innovation Hub, Project Rosalind. Getting more into this, how about some of the partners and adopters of specifically Secretarium? You have some of these guys. ANS, Capgemini, Intel. Who doesn't know about Intel? Societe Generale, Swisscom, Thales. Let's pull up this next one. How about this? Look what it says here. Call for agenda items, IETF. Ooh, the IETF, the Internet Engineering Task Force. I forgot all about them, Max. Yeah, let's reference them for a second. Hello, all. I would like to request a short slot, 10 plus 10 minutes, to present updates on the crash recovery draft and the open source Rust implementation of what? The SATP protocol. And just in case you forgot all about this stuff, I am right there with you. Don't worry about it. Let's jump into it. Here it is, straight from what? The Quant Network. Posted when? February 16th, 2023. Alongside, did you forget, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, IBM, EY News, and others have put forward a charter that led the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, to form the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, aka SATP. I forgot all about this, Max. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. Working group. The working group would develop what? SATP, a new technical standard for the internet. Huh. And who's connected to all that? Quant. And what's the Bank of International Settlements trying to do? Create an offline CBDC. And who they want to connect that to? Google Pay. To serve who? The people who do not have access. There's a lot of people in India that do not have access. My God, are we not paying attention to Quant? How about this? Just in case you forgot. Look at this reference. Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, Messages and Flows. Internet Engineering Task Force, 114, SAT, BOF. When was this? July 26, 2022. Who is part of the citation? Martin Hargreaves. Also, Alex Chirac of the Quant Network. Oh, I didn't know that. Go down to here. Look at this. Mentioned specifically in the citation. What? Quant. Organization Identifier. Quant. Get more into this. Message format. SATP message format. You mean the whole thing with the APIs and stuff, Max? Yes, with the APIs and stuff. The messages exchanged are in JSON format. The mandatory fields are all this technical stuff. But look what it mentions. Look what it mentions. Payload hash, message signature. Huh. Why do we have standards? Why do we have the ISO TC 307 standard? Probably because of the tokenization of what? CBDCs. So there's Quant, CBDCs, and then there's the whole thing of Google Pay. Are you kidding me? SATP defines a 3-core flow. Were you aware of this? So you have the transfer inflation flow. After the identity and asset verification flow, a sender gateway proposes a session to a receiver gateway. Huh. I wonder who that could be. Lock evidence verification flow, conveyance of claims regarding the lock status of digital asset by one gateway. Remember how many times you guys have said to me, Max, can you talk more about Quant and gateways? Boom. Boil it, mash it, stick it in stew because it's right there. And the verification of evidence by the other gateway. Oh, I see where you're going with this. Yeah. Commitment establishment flow, asset transfer, and commitment established between two gateways on behalf of their networks. Do we have any other examples? Of course we do. Look at this. All this stuff, even if you're not into this, represents Quant with the APIs. Lock evidence verification. I mean, I know some of this is the nerd stuff, but it's all there. It's all there. And then just in case you forgot, who's at the very start of it? Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, SATP, message and flows. Martin Hargreaves, Alex Chirac, Quant Network. You gotta love it when you look more into it. And just in case you guys like, I don't like the technical stuff. I just want it straight from the Quant Network. Okay. We'll give you the last example. Straight from the Quant Network. On January 23rd of 2023, which happened to be the 21st anniversary of DPG, go DPG, anyway. Designing secure bridges for asset transfer. And what is mentioned here in the tags? Bridges, developers, financial institutions. Oh, maybe the BIS? Yeah, maybe the BIS. Who's cited here? Dr. Luke Riley, head of innovation. Bridges have fewer participants and operators than major networks, and therefore offer more vulnerabilities to attack. Yeah, but you have to have something secure. Look at this for a second. Considerations for secure transfer, because we're talking about secure asset transfer protocol. Right? Protocol. Bridges commonly move assets using a lock emit flow. Oh, back to the other example, Max. Yes. You want it right from the Quant network, right? Yeah, you do. This is where tokens are sent to a specific escrow address on the origin chain. The tokens remain locked there while a representative version of this token is minted, created, and continues to exist on the destination chain. Is there a honeypot in regards to this? No. These escrow addresses attract more liquidity, effectively creating a honeypot for a possible attacker. For attacker, but not you holding the bag. There have been instances where hacker unlocks the original tokens from its escrow if the identity exploits in any associated smart contract code, or they hack the associated private keys from the bridge's off-chain infrastructure. If a successful attack occurs, the wrapped tokens on the destination exchange then lose their value as the peg is broken between the locked funds and the origin chain minted on the destination chain. One way to have things basically be more secure in regards to the transfer is to have a burn and mint flow. Only one version of the token exists at a time. The tokens burn on the original chain and minted on the destination chain. I know this is a little bit of nerd talk, but I want you to see this for a second. This can work if a bridge owner controls both sets of the token contracts and their origin and destination chain. This method is commonly used to transfer assets from their permission back to the other example, restricted to only certain individuals, to permissionless, open to anyone blockchain networks. And here it is again. Burn and mint flow does not require the use of an escrow address on the origin chain, therefore removes this honeypot attack problem. So it's all done from beginning to end. And what about the standard in regards to development in regards to that? Well, Quant leading the space in international standard development for asset transfer bridges. We are a key contributor to the Internet Engineering Task Force. Oh, I see how Max did that from beginning to end. Yes. And of course, also Quant Papa. Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, SATP, which aims to standardize digital asset transfer from one network to another. What is one network to another? So the BIS, right? Their network. Who is the enabler? Quant network. To do what? Well, through the whole thing, Overledger. Overledger gets it done. Blockchain operating system. To do what? To bring this network to the other network. What's the other network? Google Pay. So yes, Quant is up to over $106. It went from $86 to $106, probably, what was it, guys, in a week? Did you take advantage of that dip? And will you still take advantage of Quant, even though it's over $100 right now? You got to do what you got to do. But I think this is massive news in regards to Quant, the BIS, and Google Pay. With that said, that's going to conclude our Quant coverage of the night. All right, let me kick it back into the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed that piece. I don't know. Some people are not into Quant, some people are, but I thought that was a big deal. Anything about Quant, Google, and the BIS together, that's a trifecta. All right. Kind of got some extended coverage tonight, but I'm going to wrap things up and read the last bit of comments. And let's see what we have. So we have the last bit of comments. Let's see. You guys are talking about that party still. Well, at least Tim Shea might be paying attention to that part. Mochipe. Can't stop buying Quant. You're probably not going to stop buying Quant after hearing that one. Just being honest. But anyway. You have quantum sickness. You should see a crypto exchange. All right, let's see here. Read a few more. Max Bro, do you think I'm playing? No, not when you do it in all caps. I could get you in fat. Pay for me. I'll get you in VIP. Why would I want to go to a party that's going to end in half an hour that's on the East Coast? But I hear it. Stump Rider, not Step Rider. Hi, Max, the crypto fam. Good to see you, Mr. Stump Rider. Hopefully you caught that coverage. The last bit of coverage was some Q&T. But I'll chop it up later. Just all the time adds up. High Rollers says, great show. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Quant, what a price. End of 2024. Good night, High Rollers. And good night to each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the coverage that we had. Everything that you see the tag tonight did get some coverage. If you missed anything, you can definitely go back. But that's the show. I'm going to wrap it up. You guys have a great night. Please smash that like on your way out. Currently, we're at 80 likes. And just want to say that I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for all your support. I will not be back here tomorrow. I need to spend a day in which just try to get some things done, and then also I'm gonna have to chop up some videos, and I'm kind of running behind from Thursday night. I still need to do some of that from me and Will Fix, and then also what you see tonight. So yes, have a great night, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll see you on Monday. You too, Jack. Boom. All right. Sayonara from the Rice Crop Consortium. Let's go. Adios.
Blockchain is spurring a revolution in the way we create, record, and trade value. Its benefits, security, transparency, efficiency, can be applied to areas as diverse as payments, capital markets, and supply chains. That's why assets of all kinds are being tokenized on blockchains, making their ownership immutable, their provenance traceable, and their use manageable. The potential is enormous, but every blockchain is complex and creates a different walled garden of connections and functionality. Today, the decentralized world of blockchain is made up of closed environments, limiting liquidity and leading to increased risk and lost opportunity. Every digital asset must be created specifically for each chain, demanding dedicated developer skills, which are hard to find, time-consuming to master, and expensive to develop. Overledger Platform from Quant establishes a new benchmark for blockchain interoperability and ease of use. As a low-code enterprise-grade platform, Overledger empowers you to deploy, connect, and develop on any blockchain quickly and simply. With Overledger, you can generate an interoperable digital asset with just a few clicks, create secure smart contracts that can execute on any blockchain without having to hire a team of experts. And you can use its advanced APIs to integrate with your systems and manage your assets on multiple chains. We believe that the blockchain economy should be simple, trusted, and future-proof. These are our principles and the genesis of Overledger Platform, the enterprise standard for building on blockchain.